Douluo, starting with a 9-curve vine dragon. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 51, Capturing the Ginseng King. Directly below the rock, in the soil about 3 meters underground, the crystal-clear body of the 10,000-year-old 9th-grade Ginseng King exudes a faint emerald green glow. The raised 5-feathered green phoenix pattern on the ginseng skin echoes the raised 5-clawed giant dragon pattern on the crystal blood dragon ginseng skin. At this moment, the emperor and empress of the two ginsengs were only 3 meters apart from each other. At such a close distance, even the crystal blood dragon ginseng, which had not yet developed any intelligence, began to emit a faint blood red glow from its skin in response to the call in its blood. The resonance between the two ginsengs instantly made the throbbing between the blood of both parties reach its peak. This directly led to the blood call that the 10,000-year 9th-grade Ginseng King had suppressed with great difficulty, with reason regaining the upper hand in just a few breaths. The remaining sanity of the 10,000-year 9th-grade Ginseng King was completely lost, and he relied solely on instinct to perform the earth escape technique and rush out of the ground. However, at the moment when the last ginseng whisker of the 10,000-year-old 9th-grade Ginseng King completely left the soil of the Earth's 7th soul skill, true form of stars. The 3rd soul skill, cold moon starlight. 5th soul skill, heavenly star attraction, the old butler appeared out of thin air next to the rock. The white jade star disk suspended in the air turned into a night sky full of twinkling stars after the 7th soul ring flashed at the same time. Among the 8 spirit rings under the old butler's feet, the 3rd and 5th spirit rings flickered. A moon-white cold light instantly hit the 10,000-year-old 9th-grade Ginseng King, freezing it into an ice sculpture in the night sky full of twinkling stars. The 8 brightest stars quietly disappeared. The next moment, the 8 stars appeared around the 10,000-year-old 9th-grade Ginseng King that was frozen in ice. 8 stars were arranged in a formation, forming a confinement barrier that trapped the 10,000-year-old 9th-grade Ginseng King in the ice and the starry sky. Lin Rong's figure turned from virtual to real. He looked at the crystal-clear, jade-like, emerald-like 10,000-year-old 9th-grade Ginseng King in the ice and exclaimed, "It's so beautiful, just as I imagined, even. The phoenix pattern on the ginseng skin is so spiritual, as if it is no different from a real phoenix. In this regard, today's crystal blood dragon ginseng is inferior. However, the age of the crystal blood dragon ginseng is only over 7,000 years. When it grows to 10,000 years and evolves, the dragon pattern protruding from the ginseng skin will be as dynamic as the 10,000-year-old 9th-grade Ginseng King." As he spoke, Lin Rong took out a flower pot and replanted the crystal blood dragon ginseng that had been placed on the rock. In another 2 years, after the crystal blood dragon ginseng absorbs the energy of the extremely cold and scorching sun twin springs in the soil, it will be able to grow to 10,000 years old. After doing all this, Lin Rong put the crystal blood dragon ginseng into the dragon pattern jade bead, and took out the golden cage he had prepared in advance. Fortunately, I made such thorough preparations, but in the end, I didn't even need to do anything. Looking at the 1,000-year-old 9th-grade Ginseng King in the ice, Lin Rong felt that he had overestimated this legendary Ginseng King. Actually, think about it, although the 10,000 years 9th-grade Ginseng King has a cultivation base of 100,000 years, it is only an immortal-grade medicinal herb, and therefore does not have the strength to match its cultivation base. The old butler's soul power is as high as level 90, and he only used his 3rd and 5th soul skills after activating his martial soul true body. The 3rd soul skill, Cold Moon Starlight single target instant soul skill. It instantly locks onto the target and emits a moon-white cold light. The locked target will be hit for sure and will be instantly frozen in ice. After being hit, the ice is filled with the power of stars, and you can control the stars to detonate the ice and cause damage. 5th soul skill, Heavenly Star Attraction, a very rare special soul skill. Every time the sky star plate absorbs a soul ring, a star will condense on the star plate. The skill effect of the soul skill Sky Star Attraction is to control these stars. It can attack and control the enemy, as well as defend itself and protect its companions. Every time the Xiaotian plate absorbs a soul ring, a star will condense. The effect of the 5th soul skill, Xiaotian, is to control these stars to attack and control the enemy, or form a defense to protect itself and its companions. After the old butler used the star true body, the effects of the 3rd and 5th soul skills doubled in this case. Unless the ginseng whisker of the 10,000-year-old 9th-grade Ginseng King touches the soil, it will not be able to escape this double confinement. Lin Rong threw the golden cage into the air. In the air, The golden cage disintegrated into more than 40,000 granular dragon beard needles, and finally turned into a golden torrent and flew into the vine leaf jade beads. The plan was successfully completed. Grandpa Yu, let's go. Shortly after, Lin Rong and the old butler returned to the cave where they had rested before Lin Rong released the 9-bend vine dragon, and the main root of the banyan tree, which had given birth to intelligence and looked like a real dragon, stretched its head in front of him. He reached out and stroked the dragon's head, and ordered, "Xiaoking, be good. Grandpa Yu is going to absorb the 10,000-year-old 9th grade ginseng king. You go and guard the entrance to the cave for me." "Got it." The green dragon let out a low dragon roar, returned to the trunk of the banyan tree, and controlled its martial soul to hide at the entrance of the cave. Looking at Xiaoking, who was doing her duty, Lin Rong stretched and walked into the cave, thinking, "It's great to have a martial soul that is completely under my control and has developed intelligence." The deepest part of the cave, the old butler Yu Yuan has already released his star body and is now sitting cross-legged on the ground meditating to recover his soul power, and the 10,000-year-old 9th grade ginseng king was still trapped in the ice. However, in order to prevent the effect of the ice from gradually fading and allowing the 10,000-year-old 9-rank ginseng king to escape, the 10,000-year-old 9-rank ginseng king and the ice were put into a box made of pure gold. The earth escape technique is ineffective against metal. Even if the 10,000-year-old 9th grade ginseng king breaks free from the confinement of ice, it will definitely not be able to escape the blockade of the golden box. An hour later, the old butler recovered his soul power, adjusted his own condition, and carefully opened the golden box in his hand. Most of the ice in the box has dissipated. When the 10,000-year-old 9th grade ginseng king saw the box opened, he was about to escape when the old butler grabbed the ginseng body and held it tightly in his hand. The power of the stars surged out from the old butler's palm, refining the wisdom of the 10,000-year-old 9th grade ginseng king. Soon, the intelligence of the 10,000-year-old 9th grade ginseng king was cleansed, and it turned from a living ginseng into a ginseng. The star soul power flows through the ginseng, the nearly endless pure life force in the ginseng body, under the guidance of the star soul power, condensed into a blood-red soul ring. With a light golden pattern on the surface after the soul ring condensed, the ginseng's body, which was as crystal clear as jade, was transformed into a torso soul bone under the guidance of the star soul power. The entire soul bone was extremely complete, showing a transparent emerald green color throughout, with bits of light flowing and flickering inside, vaguely forming a jade phoenix with 5 feathers. An incomparable and majestic aura emanated from the soul bones, but there was no trace of violent power in these auras, only a gentle and kind breath of life. End of this chapter. Chapter 52, titled Douluo. Looking at the scene in front of him, even though the old butler had expected it, he couldn't help but feel excited, and his eyes were obsessed. Whether it is 100,000-year spirit ring or 100,000-year spirit bone, they are treasures that all spirit masters in the world dream of. Now, the 2 greatest treasures of the soul master world appeared before him. How could the old butler remain calm? After a while, when my mood calmed down a little, the old butler placed the soul bone in a golden box, used his soul power to pull the soul ring to the heavenly star plate, and began to absorb the legendary 100,000-year soul ring. The process of absorbing the soul ring was much smoother than expected. Generally speaking, a 100,000-year soul ring produced by killing a 100,000-year soul beast contains extremely violent power and endless resentment. Absorbing this kind of soul ring requires enduring tremendous pain, but the 100,000-year soul ring produced by the 10,000-year-old 9th grade ginseng king is different. Although the power contained in this soul ring is enormous, it is extremely gentle, without any violent attributes or soul resentment mixed in it. When the old butler absorbed this spirit ring, the power contained in the spirit ring filled his body. Not only did it warm and clear his meridians, it also removed the hidden injuries that had been left in his body over the years. Not only that, the power of the 10,000-year-old 9th grade ginseng king also activated all the remaining medicinal power of the 8-petal fairy orchid and the kilo tulip in the old butler's body. In the process of these 3 forces warming and dredging the meridians, the Chong, Dai and Du meridians of the old housekeeper's 8 extraordinary meridians were gradually dredged. After unblocking these 3 meridians, the old butler's process of absorbing the soul ring is nearing completion. When the old butler opened his eyes, he found that his whole body was covered with the black and smelly impurities on the side. Lin Rong had already prepared warm bath water for the old housekeeper. After the old housekeeper had bathed and changed his clothes, he spoke without waiting for Lin Rong to ask, "Young master, after I absorbed this 100,000-year soul ring, my soul power broke through to the peak of level 94. Normally, after a 100,000-year soul beast dies, it produces soul rings and soul bones. but the energy in the soul beast's body still exists, and all the cultivation of the 10,000-year 9th grade ginseng king, half of it turned into spirit rings, and half turned into spirit bones. Therefore, only after this old servant absorbed this spirit ring, he was able to break through so much spirit power. As he spoke, the old butler bent down, picked up the golden box on the ground, and presented the 100,000-year-old torso bone to Lin Rong. Young master, it is an honor for me to have a soul of 100,000 years. Please absorb this soul bone. There wasn't a trace of reluctance to part with his soul bone in the old butler's tone, which touched Lin Rong deeply, but Lin Rong still reached out and pushed the box back, saying, Grandpa Yu, I have already planned my own soul bones. Among the 6 regular soul bones, the one I like is the trunk bone of the azure bull python, the king of the forest, in the starred-out great forest. Although this soul bone has life attributes and is very suitable for me, its pattern symbolizes the phoenix. Therefore, compared to this jade phoenix soul bone, the trunk bone of the wood-attributed dragon soul beast azure bull python is more suitable for me. Moreover, the effect can only be maximized by absorbing spirit rings and spirit bones of the same origin. You understand this principle even without me saying it, so no one is more suitable than you to absorb this soul bone. Besides, the stronger you are, Grandpa Yu, the more secure I will be. Right. These words were well reasoned and the old butler could not say anything to refute them, so he had to obey the young master's arrangements. Taking out the torso bone, the old butler fitted it against his chest because he had absorbed the 10,000-year-old 9th grade ginseng king soul ring. The torso bone automatically merged into his body without the old butler actively absorbing it. The old butler had no time to think, and quickly sat cross-legged on the ground to refine the huge soul power brought by the soul bone. During the process of absorbing soul bones, the Wuhan sky star plate emerged on its own, and the 8 stars on the white jade star plate had already turned into 9 stars, 2 yellow, 2 purple, 4 black and 1 red. A total of 9 soul rings appeared under the old butler's feet. The outermost blood-red soul ring seemed to resonate with the soul bone that the old butler was absorbing. The blood-red surface of the soul ring vaguely showed the pattern of a 9-feathered phoenix. The pale golden pattern dotted between the phoenix patterns looked noble and elegant. Half an hour later, after the old butler absorbed the soul bone, he stood up from the ground and said with a smile, Young master, after absorbing these soul bones, my soul power has broken through from the peak of level 94 to level 96. In addition, the harmony between the soul rings and soul bones of the same origin strengthens the 2 soul skills they each provide, especially one of the 2 soul ring soul skills. The tone of these words revealed the old butler's heartfelt joy, but it's not because his own strength has been improved, but because he has become stronger and can protect the young master. The old butler knew that his young master wanted to seize the throne of the Sky Dou Empire, dominate the continent and the ocean, and ultimately become a god. Before this, I was just a soul Douluo and could not accompany the young master to the end of this road, let alone protect the young master from getting hurt in the process. Now, he has a soul power of level 96, and also possesses a 100,000-year soul ring and a 100,000-year soul bone. This surge in strength and qualifications gave the old butler enough confidence to accompany the young master to the end of this road. Lin Rong walked forward, touched the old butler's beard, which had turned from white to black after absorbing the spirit ring, and said, Level 96, then Grandpa Yu, how long do you think it will take you to break through to level 97? After hearing this, the old butler pondered for a while, and then answered uncertainly, Young master, I don't know either. This old servant has just broken through to the realm of title Douluo. This level 6 soul power is also directly upgraded by the 100,000-year soul ring and soul bone. I have no idea how long it takes to cultivate the first level of spirit power to become a title Douluo. It will take some time for me to give you a more accurate answer. I actually forgot about this. Lin Rong thought to himself, recalling the description of the levels of title Douluo in the original work. Level 95 is the watershed for title Douluo. Anyone who breaks through to the title Douluo without damaging their foundation can cultivate to level 95 with the accumulation of time. Although the soul power gap between level 91 and level 95 is not small, it can be made up by relying on the quality of martial souls, soul rings, soul skills, and soul bones. After level 95, it is no longer a simple accumulation of soul power, but a matter of comprehension. When the soul power breaks through to level 96, the soul power will be 20% stronger than level 95 at level 97. The soul power strength is 20% stronger than that at level 96. Then, at level 98, The soul power strength is 30% stronger than that at level 97 at level 99. The soul power strength is 40% stronger than that at level 98. The old butler absorbed 3 kinds of immortal herbs, the 8-petal immortal orchid, the gorgeous tulip, and the 10,000-year-old 9th grade ginseng king. His aptitude and talent were more than enough for him to comprehend the 99th level. Therefore, the old butler's soul power successfully broke through to level 96 after absorbing the soul bone. Regarding the old butler's soul power issue, normally, a 100,000-year spirit ring can increase the spirit power to the peak of level 92, and another 100,000-year spirit bone can increase the spirit power to level 94. But in addition to the spirit rings and spirit bones, the energy in the body of a 100,000-year spirit beast is no less than that of the spirit rings and spirit bones. Therefore, a 10,000-year-old 9th grade ginseng king, which is equivalent to a 100,000-year-old soul beast, has half of its energy transformed into soul rings and the other half into soul bones. A soul ring is upgraded to the peak level 94, and another soul bone is upgraded to level 96. This is not outrageous. End of this chapter. Chapter 53. Notice: I suddenly received a notification today and it will be on the shelves tomorrow. To be honest, it was quite sudden for me too, because the first round of recommendations have not yet been completed. The recommendations for new works by famous artists were only posted today. Someone in the writers group said that it was because there was already a Douluo fanfiction book Shuang Sanjiang. At the same time, I originally planned to write 200,000 words and put it on the shelves on December 1st, and also update 10 chapters on the day of the release, but I don't have any manuscripts on hand right now, so I can only say sorry to all my readers. In addition, the novel will be on the shelves tomorrow, and I would like to ask for a first order here. Thank you to all the readers who support this novel. End of this chapter. Chapter 54. Continental Map. At this stage, within the Sky Dou Empire, at the top of the combat power are the 4 titled Douluo, Shenzhen, Yu Yuan, Tang Xiao, and Tang Hao. At this time, of the 4 titled Douluo, except Tang Hao, who was at level 95, the other 3 were all at level 96. Among them, Tang Hao was seriously injured. Once he used all his strength, there was a high probability that his old injuries would erupt and he would die on the spot. Therefore, if Tang Hao does not incur any injuries, his strength can only reach the threshold of title Douluo at most. In this way, the old butler, whose soul power is now as high as level 96, is enough to rank among the top 4 among all soul masters in the Sky Dou Empire. This is because the old butler's spiritual power has increased too much in a short period of time, and he has not yet been able to fully control this power. Now it's a matter of maintaining 4th place and striving for 3rd place. When the old butler fully adapts to this power, he will have a 100,000-year spirit ring and a 100,000-year spirit bone on his body. Apart from Tang Xiao, who possesses the unique skill of ring explosion, there should be no soul master in the Sky Dou Empire who can be a match for the old butler. Thinking of this, Lin Rong felt particularly happy. With such a master by my side, I can rest assured for a long time to come. In the carriage, Lin Rong was holding a pen in his hand, writing and drawing something on the map spread out on the table. The entire continent, the Sky Dou Empire is in the north and the Duuluo Empire is in the south. Between the 2 empires were a number of kingdoms and principalities that were granted by the Sky Dou and Duuluo empires respectively. Among the kingdoms and principalities is the Wuhan city, where the Wuhan Hall is located within the territory of the Sky Dou Empire. The imperial capital Sky Dou City and the Hanhei City in the west are almost in a straight line. The frozen forest where Lin Rong and the old butler are located is in the northwest of Sky Dou City. Thus, the frozen forest, Sky Dou City, and Hanhei City formed a triangle. In the original novel, the group of wolf bandits that Tang San and his companions encountered on their way to Hanhei City were roaming within the area covered by this triangle. Wolf thief is a half-wolf, half-human monster that is the result of the mating of the soul beast Wind Wolf and a human female. Not only did he inherit the physique, speed and some natural abilities of the Wind Wolf, he also possessed a certain amount of human wisdom. He is bloodthirsty and lustful by nature, and not only does he frequently rob and rape, he also likes to eat people. The existence of wolf bandits has caused endless harm to the people of the empire. However, dealing with wolf bandits is a very tricky task. 500 wolf bandits can defeat a regular army of 10,000 people, and there are more than 300 wolf bandits roaming around in the northwest region of the Sky Dou Empire. Therefore, in order to wipe out this group of wolf bandits, at least tens of thousands of troops would be needed to wipe out this group of more than 300 wolf bandits. However, the local military leaders were unwilling to do such thankless tasks, and the task of eliminating the wolf bandits was left unresolved. The inaction of the local authorities, coupled with the indifference of the top soul masters to the lives of the lower level people, has allowed this group of wolf thieves to continue to commit crimes and survive until now frozen forest after the old butler absorbed the soul ring and soul bone of the 10,000-year-old 9th grade ginseng king, Lin Rong, and the old butler took a carriage to search for the group of wolf thieves in the area covered by the triangle, and then wiped them out after finding them. This is not because Lin Rong has an overwhelming sense of justice and wants to enforce justice. Instead, he was one of the 3 leaders of the wolf bandits, and there was a soul bone in his body that was guaranteed to be 10,000 years old. Lin Rong's purpose of this trip was to obtain the soul bone. To him, destroying the wolf bandits was simply an unnecessary task, but since they were going to find that group of wolf bandits, Lin Rong was happy to do it, as it would be easy for the old butler to wipe out the wolf bandits. The soul bone of the wolf path leader is named Bloodthirsty and Mad Hurricane Right Leg. The soul bone skill is called Bloodthirst, and after using this skill, the user can enter a frenzy state. During the duration, the 3 attributes of attack, defense, and speed are increased by 100%. The disadvantage is that soul skills cannot be used during the duration of the soul bone skill, and if the mental strength is insufficient, the user will lose his mind. There is no doubt that this soul bone is extremely suitable for beast soul masters of the strong attack or defense system. The captain of the guard team under Lin Rong, Su Pan, has the spirit of the rock-horned bull, which is a strong attacking beast spirit in name. Su Pan was the personal bodyguard that Lin Rong gave to Ma Hongjun. But the real purpose was to have Su Pan stay with Ma Hongjun all the time and instill in him the idea of being loyal to Lin Rong. Over the past 2 years, Su Pan has done a very good job in this matter and has cultivated Ma Hongjun's thoughts very well. As a person in a position of power, the most basic means are to use both kindness and severity, and to clearly distinguish between rewards and punishments. Since Su Pan did a good job on the task, Lin Rong would naturally reward him with some benefits for a soul master. Improving strength is the best reward, and strength is nothing more than spirit rings, spirit bones, and unique skills among them. The soul ring needs to break through a large stage of soul power level before it can be absorbed. Su Pan has just broken through the 60th level not long ago, and it is still too early to break through the 70th level in terms of unique skills. Lin Rong has no unique skills similar to the 9 wonders of Xiaotian, except for the Zisa Sutra. Therefore, the only thing he could show off was his soul bone, but the 3 inherited soul bones in the family cannot be given to others. So Lin Rong set his sights on the wolf thief mentioned in the original book. The bloodthirsty and frenzied hurricane right leg on the wolf thief's body is undoubtedly very suitable for Su Pan. As for the side effect of losing sanity due to frenzy, there is no need to worry. Lin Rong can just find Su Pan a 10,000-year-old head soul bone. For example, Xinian's 10,000-year-old gem-like head soul bone. Of course, if Xinian was aware of the current situation and was willing to be loyal to him, Lin Rong could spare his life. The remnant dream of Xinian's martial soul is very helpful to Lin Rong's plan, but it is not necessary to rely on Xinian to complete it. If Xinian is willing to be loyal, then Lin Rong will not be able to kill people and take their bones. But in this case, the goal of obtaining the head soul bone will have to be changed. In the original book, it is clearly recorded that there are skull soul bones, and Lin Rong is able to obtain them. And there are 2 of them. One is the skull soul bone of unknown age belonging to Huan Li of the Elephant Armor sect. The other is the skull soul bone of Medusa belonging to Duuluo, which is at least 10,000 years old. As for Oscar's 20,000-year-old mirror shadow beast head soul bone, there is still no clue about it at this moment. Lin Rong didn't know which mirror beast exploded the soul bone, and whether it would explode again if it happened to another person or at a different time. The same principle also applies to Tang San's 8 spider lance. The original time, original place, original characters, and original battles. These are some of the factors that affect whether the human-faced demon spider, which has cultivated for just over 2,000 years, will explode the 8 spider lance. Therefore, Lin Rong could not intercept the external spirit bone 8 spider lance, but as long as he prevented Tang San from obtaining the human-faced demon spider as his 3rd spirit ring, Tang San himself would also miss this opportunity. Moreover, Tang San now obtains plant soul beasts as soul rings unless it is really destiny that cannot be defied otherwise. Tang San would have to be crazy to hunt down the human-faced demon spider as his 3rd spirit ring. Ever since I learned about the product's launch, my emotions have been volatile the entire day, and I haven't been able to calm down and write. It wasn't until the evening that things got a little better. I just finished writing this chapter not long ago. There is another chapter that I am staying up late to write and will be published on time at 6 o'clock. This is my first time putting the product on the shelves. I don't know how to use the VIP coupons, so the delivery is slow. End of this chapter. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 55. The sun and the moon shine together. That night, the sky was full of stars in the thick darkness. Mountains upon mountains coiled above the earth like a giant black dragon deep in the forest. Bonfires burning, hundreds of figures gathered around the campfire, roasting something in their hands. In the night sky, the cold moonlight fell, dimly illuminating the faces of those figures. Those figures looked like savages. Each of them was strong and over 2 meters tall under the hazy moonlight. Their hair appeared gray and their bodies were covered with extremely dense hair. Their lips protruded outward, revealing 2 canine teeth that were several times the size of an ordinary person's, and their faces were covered in thick paint. These figures are the so-called wolf thieves. Next to the largest campfire, there sat 3 green-haired wolf thieves among them. The largest wolf thief looked up at the night sky. Somehow, he felt that the moon and stars were particularly bright tonight. 300 meters above the ground, the night sky here is extremely dark, with thousands of stars twinkling in it. If you stand on the ground and look up, in the pitch-black night, you can't tell the difference between these stars and the stars in the real night sky. And in this abnormal night sky, Lin Rong and the old butler were hiding in the night sky, stepping on a giant green dragon. Looking down at the more than 300 wolf bandits below, Lin Rong muttered softly, "They are hiding here, which makes it easy for me to find them." He thought that with a life perception given to him by the 9-curved vine dragon, it would be a very easy task to find the group of wolf thieves in front of him. But Lin Rong missed one thing, that is, he had never seen a wolf thief before, so he didn't know what the characteristics of the wolf thief's life breath were. Lin Rong also tried to use the breath of the wind demon wolf to search for the whereabouts of the wolf thief. As a result, the wolf thief did not find anything, but instead found a group of wind wolves. Finally, after searching in the deep mountains and forests for 7 days, I finally found this place. After finding this place, Lin Rong asked the old butler to activate his martial soul's true form. The star's true form transformed into pitch-black night sky, blending perfectly into the already dark night sky, especially tonight when the stars are twinkling. The thousands of stars in the night sky transformed by the true bodies of the stars do not seem abrupt at all. Looking down at the defenseless wolf thieves below, Lin Rong waved his hand to signal the old butler that he could take action. After receiving the order, the old butler hid among the 9 soul rings under his feet, and the 3rd and 4th soul rings lit up at the same time. The 3rd soul skill, Cold Moon Starlight. 4th soul skill, Shining Sun Starlight. The 2 purple soul rings flashed more than 10 times in a short moment. In an instant, blurry shadows of the sun and the moon appeared in the night sky at the same time. Dozens of moon white and scarlet red lights bloomed from top to bottom, like brilliant fireworks falling to the earth on the ground. The green-haired wolf thief looked up at the night sky, trying to see clearly the shadows of the sun and the moon that suddenly appeared. But before he could see clearly, he was hit by a moon-white cold light and frozen in a huge piece of ice. The cold moonlight and the crimson glow raged across the earth. On the ground, half of the more than 300 wolf bandits were frozen in ice, while the other half were temporarily blinded and stunned on the spot. After looking directly into the bright light burst, amid the wailing, the old butler silently read out a word. I saw that. After the old butler read out this word, more than 150 blocks of ice on the ground exploded from the inside out. At the same time, more than 150 other wolf bandits, who were emitting crimson light, started to burn with crimson flames after the word explosion was pronounced. The ice crystals produced by the ice explosion mixed with the crimson flames, and the moon white and crimson colors blended together, which was gorgeous and beautiful. Looking down at the beautiful and bloody scene below, he exclaimed, "It's so beautiful. The soul skills of star-type martial souls are so cool." The old butler's 3rd soul skill, Cold Moon Starlight, was used when he captured the 10,000-year-old 9th-grade ginseng king. As for the old butler's 4th soul skill, Shining Sun Starlight, it was the first time that Lin Rong saw the old butler use it. Shining Sun Starlight, like Frost Moon Starlight, is a single target instantaneous spirit skill. It instantly locks onto the target and emits a red light. The locked target is guaranteed to be hit. After hitting the target, it will cause dizziness and blindness. At the same time, the power of the stars will flow through the target, which can cause damage by the sun's fire. Whether it is the Cold Moon Starlight or the Shining Sun Starlight, the effects of their soul skills can be said to be superb. The sun and the moon can both be classified as stars. The old butler's 3rd soul ring was taken from a 1,500-year-old Hanayu flower, and he gained the soul skill of Hanyu Starlight. The fourth soul ring was taken from a sunflower that was more than 5,200 years old, and obtained the soul skill of Shining Sun Star. 1 day, 1 month, 1 yin, 1 yang. When these two soul skills are used together, the conflict between ice and fire will greatly increase the power of the soul skills. When they are detonated a second time earlier, the old butler's soul power was not high because both Frost Moon Starlight and Shining Sun Starlight are single-target instant soul skills, although it can be used multiple times in a row within a split second to serve as a group instant soul skill. It would not be able to sustain a sufficient soul power consumption. The soul power will be exhausted after a few uses, but by now, the old butler's soul power has reached level 96. The soul power consumption of the third and fourth thousand-year soul skills was nothing to him. It makes no difference whether the Cold Moon Starlight and the Shining Sun Starlight are group instant soul skills. Moreover, the power of a single soul skill is usually greater than that of a group soul skill. Therefore, the single soul skill of a Millennium Soul Ring is definitely more practical for a title Douluo than the Millennium Group Soul Skill, because for title Douluo, the 1000-year Group Spirit Skill is a trivial matter when used to bully weaklings, and it is completely useless when used to deal with enemies of similar level. It's totally useless after a long time on the ground. The brilliant light created by the Cold Moon Starlight and the bright Sun Starlight slowly dissipated. The previous vegetation and rocks had long disappeared at this moment, and deep pits appeared one after another on the ground. There was no trace of the more than 300 wolf bandits, and the ground was covered with scorched earth, without any trace of blood, flesh, or bones. Only in the largest deep pit in the center, buried under the soil, there was a crystal egg bone emitting a green glow in the night sky. Lin Rong saw the soul bone below, but he had no intention of landing on the ground to get it. Instead, he looked at the soul bone and thought about letting it fly over. The soul bone flew directly into Lin Rong's hands. To this day, the coverage area of the heart mirror cultivated by Lin Rong in the second level of the Zisa Sutra, Yuan Zize, has expanded from the original 10 meters in radius to the current 30 meters in radius. At the same time, the range of the heart mirror can be changed from square and circular coverage to straight line coverage. The straight line coverage distance of the heart mirror is 100 feet, which is more than 300 meters. Therefore, Lin Rong directly covered the soul bone within the range of the heart mirror, and used his mental power to interfere with the power of reality to take the soul bone from the air. We have got the stuff, Grandpa Yu. We have been out for so long, it's time to go back. End of this chapter. Chapter 56, Invitation. 3 days later, Xiandao City, Invitation. As soon as Lin Rong returned to the Duke's mansion, a servant came with a red card in his hands. On it were 2 big words written in gold powder: Tang Sect. Tang Sect? What kind of drama is Tang San planning to put on? The gold-stamped invitation flew out of the servant's hand and unfolded in front of Lin Rong. The post only reads, presented to Duke Lin Rong himself. 7 days from now will be the 9th birthday of our sect leader Tang San. A birthday celebration will be held at our headquarters, and there will also be an exhibition of our unique hidden weapons. You are cordially invited to come. Elder Bai He of the Tang clan cordially invites you. White Crane. After Lin Rong finished reading the invitation, there was no expression on his face. The invitation floating in front of him flew into the hands of the old butler behind him. Then, Lin Rong walked towards the mansion and asked the attendant, "When will this post be delivered?" The attendant followed behind Lin Rong and the old butler, and answered respectfully, "Your Excellency, this note was delivered 4 days ago." After hearing this, Lin Rong thought, 4 days ago? There are still 3 days until the banquet. The Tang sect has 4 great elders: Tai Tan, Lu Gao, Niu Gao, and Bai He. This is Xiandao City, so it stands to reason that Tai Tan should be the last name signed on the invitation. Could it be that old Bai He learned from Tang San how precious the crystal blood dragon ginseng is and became dissatisfied with a previous transaction? So, Bai He signed his name on the invitation this time, hoping to use the power of the Tang sect to force me to return the crystal blood dragon ginseng to him. HMPH. Wishful thinking. Lin Rong admitted that Bai He had a good plan, but he chose the wrong timing. If Bai He had come to ask for the crystal blood dragon ginseng a few months earlier, with the 2-souled Daoist Titan and Nia Gao standing up for him, and with the old butler still in seclusion, Lin Rong would really have had to return the crystal blood dragon ginseng to him. But unfortunately, Bai He has missed the best opportunity. After the old butler came out of seclusion, his soul power broke through the 90-level mark. Although he has not yet obtained the 9th soul ring, He is not afraid of Titan and Nia Gao just by suppressing his soul power, not to mention that after the trip to the frozen forest, the old butler not only possessed 100,000-year spirit ring and spirit bone, but his own spirit power also broke through from level 90 to level 96 among the 4 elders of Tang clan. He has no combat power of his own. Lu Gao has combat power of his own, but it can be ignored. 2 of the 4 were killed, leaving only Titan and Nia Gao, 2 soul Daolus whose soul power is not even level 85. They are not to be feared at all in front of the old butler. Who did the Tang sect invite to the banquet this time? In the courtyard, Lin Rong walked into the pavilion and asked the servant behind him. Lin Rong did not need to give any instructions for such matters. After the Tang clan's invitation was delivered to the Duke's mansion, there were naturally secret guards to investigate these matters. Since the attendant presented the invitation to Lin Rong, he was naturally informed of the results of the investigation by the secret guards, so the attendant waited for Lin Rong to finish asking questions, then stood outside the pavilion, bowed, and reported the results of the secret guard's investigation. My lord, all the prominent forces in Xiandao City have been invited to the birthday celebration of the Tang sect leader. Among these invited forces, the only ones we need to pay attention to are the royal family and the 7 treasures glazed tile sect. After the royal family accepted the invitation, Emperor Zhi asked Crown Prince Zhu King and 4th Prince Zhu Bang to attend the banquet on behalf of the royal family. As for the 7 treasures glazed tile sect, the news spread that sect master Ning was attending the banquet in person. In the pavilion, Lin Rong sat on a stone bench. After listening to the attendant's report, he muttered, Ning Fengzi is attending the banquet in person? This really gives Tang San enough face. It seems that the Tang sect's hidden weapons are still as attractive to the 7 treasures glazed sect as ever, and the royal guests attending the banquet are Zhu King and Zhu Bang. Zhu Yi is playing the emperor's mind game again. After 3 days, we can go to the Tang sect to see how much Tang San has grown. How long will it take for him to be able to compete with Jinring Su? If that old fellow he really doesn't know what's good for him and wants to use the power of the Tang sect to suppress others and take this opportunity to take back the Sui Crystal Blood Dragon Jinsen, then don't blame me for being rude. At that time, if Tang San is willing to protect Bai, then we can extort some good things from Tang San. If Tang San is unwilling to protect Bai, then we can only blame Bai for his bad luck, because the Min clan had taken root in Xiandao City and had established a scout force in the city, in order to prevent the Min clan from discovering the domesticated sharp-tailed swifts. Every time the spine-tailed swift delivered intelligence, it had to stop at the outskirts of Xiandao City and let the secret guards who took turns guarding there take away the intelligence it was carrying. Not only did it waste a lot of time, but it also reduced the efficiency of the intelligence network. Lin Rong was worried that he had no excuse to attack the Min clan, but he gave him the reason himself. What a good man. As for whether the Tang sect would suffer any serious damage, he was not the sect master, so this was not something he should consider. Besides, Lin Rong only needs Tang San to be strong enough to deal with Jinring Su. A clan like the Min clan, which has not improved its hard power but has made great improvements in soft power, is redundant in Lin Rong's eyes. Tang San only needs hard power to deal with Jinring Su. Soft power like scouts will be of no use at all when the top masters of both sides are fighting. Since the existence of the Min clan does not affect Tang San's handling of Jinring Su, it also hinders the intelligence network in his hands. Lin Rong naturally would not allow Tang San to control this power. Even if he didn't come up with an excuse himself, he would find other suitable excuses to deal with the Min clan. Day 2. Deep in the manor, in the center of the banyan forest, Su Pan was standing under a banyan tree, reporting something. Sir, Hongjun has been practicing diligently for the past 8 months. A few days ago, his soul power has broken through to level 29. In the past 8 months, I have become familiar with all kinds of military disciplines, but I still need to study the art of war. After finishing the report, Lin Rong, who was doing 2 things at once, practiced a washing Marrow Sutra while saying, normal. After all, the art of war needs to be experienced in actual combat to understand its essence. Without actually participating in a battle, no matter how well you learn the art of war, it is just theory on paper. It's not your fault. Just gain more experience on the battlefield. I understand. Su Pan replied and was about to bow and leave. Wait, take this. Lin Rong called out to Su Pan, and a stream of green light streaked across the air and appeared in front of Su Pan. Su Pan took a closer look and found that the thing in the green light was actually a soul bone. My Lord, this is too precious. After recognizing that the thing in front of him was a soul bone, Su Pan spoke incoherently. Seeing this, Lin Rong said, "No need to refuse. You are the most suitable person in the mansion to absorb this soul bone. This soul bone is called Bloodthirsty Madness Hurricane Right Leg. It is over 20,000 years old and is not one of the 3 soul bones inherited by my family. Its soul bone skill is Frenzy, and the effect is to increase the 3 attributes of attack, defense, and speed by 100%. Therefore, this soul bone is suitable for a soul master with a beast martial soul, bow. You and I both have weapon spirits. We don't rely on our physical strength in combat, so our compatibility with the spirit bone is extremely low. In addition, among all the guards and secret guards, you are the one with the highest seniority, the greatest contributions, and the one whose martial spirit is most compatible with yours. The mission on your shoulders is very important. You can't be too weak. This soul bone can help you." After hearing these words, Su Pan took the floating soul bone with both hands and replied, "Yes, thank you, sir. I will take my leave." After saying this, Su Pan backed away towards Lin Rong until he could no longer see Lin Rong. Then he turned around and walked out of the banyan tree forest. Banyan tree center. Lin Rong was practicing the Zisa Sutra while thinking about something in his mind. Hongjun, who is 2 months away from turning 9, has already broken through to level 29 in terms of soul power in a few months. After Hongjun breaks through level 30 and obtains the 3rd soul ring, it will be time to take him to meet Marshal Gailong. Back then, when Gailong was young, he owed the Lin family a big favor, and now it was time to repay it. End of this chapter. Chapter 57. Reunion after a long absence. Time flies, and in the blink of an eye it is the day when Tang sect holds a birthday celebration for Tang San south of Xiandao City. The former residence of the Li clan has now become the residence of the Tang clan. After being transformed by the Yu clan early in the morning, the gate opened under a plaque engraved with the words Tangman. Luxurious carriages stopped in front of the compound one after another, and the dignitaries of Xiandao City walked out of the carriages. The powerful and wealthy see each other every day. They are very familiar with each other and nod to each other before entering the gate. The servant beside the dignitary took out the invitation, verified his identity, and was invited in by the gatekeeper. At this time, 2 carriages were driving side by side on the street, arriving at Tangmen one after the other. The carriage on the left has a white swan pattern carved in white marble, and the carriage on the right has a 7-story pagoda carved in glazed tiles. Almost at the same time, 3 people got off each of the 2 carriages. Master Ning, teacher, His Majesty the Douluo, young Master Ning, Your Highness, 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 the 4th prince, among the 6 people, except for an unusually tall and skinny old man. The other 5 looked at each other and greeted each other politely. Feng I originally thought that the emperor had only sent the crown prince and the 4th prince to the banquet, but he did not expect that Prince Zuxing would also condescend to attend the banquet. Ning Feng he stood between Gu Rong and Ning Rongrong with a warm and friendly smile on his face. On the opposite side, Prince Zuxing was also standing between Zuking and Zubang. However, the same position also hides a mystery. Ning Rongrong stood on the left of Ning Fengzi, and Douluo Gu Rong stood on the right of Ning Fengzi. As for the 3 members of the royal family, the 4th Prince Zubang stood on the left of Prince Zuzing, while the Crown Prince Zuking stood on the right of Prince Zuzing. The left has been respected since ancient times as the young master of the 7 treasures glazed tile sect. Ning Rongrong is also deeply loved by Gu Rong, so it makes sense for her to stand on the left side of the noble one. But on the royal side, their stance has profound meaning. As the younger brother of Emperor Zuyi, it was natural for Prince Zuzing to stand in the middle, but the Crown Prince Zuking stood on the right side of Prince Zuzing, while the 4th Prince Zubang stood on the more honorable left side. Ning Fengzi, who had a keen eye, saw at a glance the problem with the positioning of the 3 royal family members. As the teacher of Crown Prince Zuking, Ning Fengzi would not fall out with Prince Zuxing over such a small matter, but it was only natural for him to make some sarcastic remarks. Facing Ning Fengzi's words, Prince Zuxing responded indifferently, "Master Ning, you are joking. I am here only because my nephew is naughty by nature. I am afraid that he will do something that will damage the dignity of the royal family during this celebration. That's why I followed along. And by the way, I wanted to see what the Tang sect leader is all about, but didn't sect master Ning condescend to bring his young sect master to attend the birthday celebration of a 9-year-old child?" Hearing this, Ning Fengzi remained unmoved, with a gentle smile on his face, and said, "The Tang sect is an important partner of my Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect, and we have frequent business dealings with each other. Now, the Tang sect leader is holding a grand celebration for the first time. Since Fengzi has been invited, he will naturally not refuse this honor." While they were talking, the carriage that Lin Rong was riding in also arrived here. Gu Rong, who had been silent all the time, suddenly looked to the side, staring at Lin Rong and the old butler Yu Yuan, who got off the carriage with some suspicion. To be precise, he was only staring at the old butler behind Lin Rong. Gu Rong looked at the figure of the old housekeeper Yu Yuan, feeling somewhat surprised. "Is this my illusion? I actually sensed a hint of danger from a soul Douluo." The attentive Ning Fengzi noticed the subtle change in Gu Rong's expression, so he looked calmly at the master and servant who were approaching. "Why don't you go in? What's the new thing here?" Lin Rong pretended to be an 8-year-old child and asked curiously, "Would you mind telling me about it?" Among the 6 people, Ning Fengzi was the first to speak. "Duke Lin, I have heard of you from my daughter a long time ago. Seeing you today, I can see that you are indeed a great man of your time. Rongrong, why don't you say hello to Duke Lin?" Ning Rongrong, who was standing aside, turned her gaze to Lin Rong after hearing what her father said. Coincidentally, Lin Rong also turned her gaze to Ning Rongrong because of Ning Fengzi's words. The two of them stared at each other. This elite education is different. Looking at Ning Rongrong, who seemed to have become a different person, Lin Rong couldn't help but think, this temperament, this demeanor, if this face hadn't changed, I wouldn't have believed this was Ning Rongrong. Ning Rongrong recognized Lin Rong at the first sight, even though they hadn't seen each other for more than 2 years. It was because of Lin Rong's words that she became what she is now. At the beginning, Ning Rongrong resented Lin Rong, but as time goes by, Ning Rongrong, who has received a good education, has understood what responsibility is. The change in her own cognition also made Ning Rongrong realize that she was carrying the hopes of the entire sect on her shoulders. Therefore, Ning Rongrong would no longer resent Lin Rong, but after meeting him again after 2 years, she could not help but feel some resentment in her heart. However, the education she received over the years has taught Ning Rongrong to hide her emotions, and she did not show the grudges in her heart. "Hello, Duke Lin, long time no see." Ning Rongrong smiled elegantly and politely and greeted softly, "Hello, young Master Ning, long time no see." Lin Rong also politely responded with a greeting, and then secretly checked the soul power cultivation of those present in life perception. The order of the soul power of these 6 people from high to low is: Bone Banyan, soul power peak at level 95 Ning Fengzi, soul power at the peak of level 79 Snowstar, soul power level 55 Zuking, Jinring Su, soul power level 52 Ning Rongrong, soul power level 36 Avalanche, soul power level 22, Ning Rongrong's soul power is actually at level 36. Lin Rong was a little surprised after investigating. "I see. There are energy fluctuations from 2 soul bones in the body. One is a torso bone that is over 50,000 years old, and the other is a skull bone that is over 60,000 years old. They are both gem-type soul bones." Ning Fengzi really spent a lot of money on this. A 36th level auxiliary soul master who is 8 years and 9 months old. This is the monster that Ning Fengzi created using 2 top-grade soul bones that are more than 50,000 years old. Fortunately, I am younger than Ning Rongrong, and my soul power is also higher than Ning Rongrong's. Otherwise, if I were surpassed in spirit power by a native of the same age, it would be a complete disgrace to the time traveler. Lin Rong is now 8 years and 6 months old, with a soul power level of 37, only 1 level higher than Ning Rongrong. Lin Rong was not surprised by the soul power levels of the other 5 people because of Gu Rong's talent. His soul power has been stuck at the peak of level 95 and has not made any progress. Ning Fengzi was limited by his martial soul, and his soul power had been stuck at the peak of level 79, unable to take another step forward. Jinring Su, in the original novel, was about 30 years old, a soul sage with a soul power of over 70 levels. It is normal that her soul power is only in the 50s now. Zhu Xing is a prince of a country. Although the quality of the swan martial soul inherited by the Xiaotian royal family is not high, it is not too bad. His soul power cultivation is at level 55, which is normal. Zhu Beng, under the guidance of Zhu Xing, concealed his incompetence and deliberately did not practice hard. His soul power cultivation level was level 22, which was normal. Duke Lin We haven't seen each other for a long time, Zhu. King suddenly spoke up and greeted Lin Rong, and the smile on his face made people feel as refreshed as a spring breeze. That's right. Just as Lin Rong was about to return a gift, Zhu Bang beside him interrupted casually. Duke Lin, you never attend any social banquets held by Xiandao City. This is the first time this prince has seen you in person. Let me tell you, I know all the fun places in Xiandao City. Can I take you there someday? Zhu Bang's familiar words silenced Lin Rong. What a superb acting skill. If Lin Rong had not read the original novel and knew that Zhu Bang was pretending to be like this, he would have been fooled by him. Zhu King frowned slightly when Zhu Bang interrupted him. He was about to say something when Prince Zhu Xing spoke first. Haha. Don't blame Duke Lin. Zhu Xing stepped forward and said, this nephew of mine is a well-known playboy. I apologize for any offense I may have caused in my words just now. Seeing this, Lin Rong had already realized that Zhu Xing and Zhu Bang just didn't want him to talk to Zhu King as a hereditary duke. The Lin family has considerable influence in Xiandao. Zhu Xing does not want Lin Rong to favor Zhu King, therefore, he and his uncle and nephew Zhu Bang tacitly used what had just happened to interrupt the polite greetings between Lin Rong and Zhu King. The first order score of this book is 1384. Thank you for your strong support. End of this chapter. Chapter 58 Undercurrent. However, don't tell the truth when you see through it. Lin Rong exchanged some false greetings. After the greetings, the three forces walked into the Tang sect together. Not long after they walked in, another carriage drove up. After the carriage stopped, a tall and thin old man walked out of it. The old man actually had long dark green hair and emerald green eyes, and his stiff face gave off an expression that said no approaching. Then, another woman walked out of the carriage. The woman was about 15 or 16 years old, and had the same emerald green eyes as the tall and thin old man, but her hair color was not the same dark green as the tall and thin old man, but dark purple. Her appearance was not stunning, but with her short dark purple hair, she looked quite heroic, but her emerald green eyes added a bit of weirdness to her. After getting off the carriage, the woman lowered her head and played with her emerald green nails, and said lazily, Grandpa, why did you drag me here when you wanted to attend this little brat's birthday celebration? I've already made an appointment with Xian Hang to go shopping together. Grandpa, you've caused me to break the appointment by doing this. Yan. The thin old man stroked the woman's hair and said gently, the Tang sect's hidden weapons are quite unique. It is said that the famous hidden weapons Huge Liang Yu is only of upper middle level among the Tang sect. Grandpa is thinking of custom making a set of hidden weapons for you, Yan, for self-defense. However, the Tang sect's direct sale hidden weapons are all inferior. Hidden weapons like this huge crossbow are not on the direct sale category. They only appear once or twice at auctions, and the Tang sect leader is the nephew of Yuxun's leader. He might be the son of that leader. Grandpa can't force him. However, it's not easy for Grandpa to show up. But Yan, you are different. Tang Sam is just a 9-year-old boy, still a novice in that aspect. Our Yan is so charming, it's a piece of cake to take him down. Well, Yan, how many hidden weapons do you want, and what kind of hidden weapons do you want? Isn't it just a matter of asking a question, Grandpa? The girl blushed and said shyly, I already have a boyfriend, and I don't have that kind of fetish for liking a little kid who hasn't even grown all his hair yet, eh? The thin old man shook his head and said, as the saying goes, a woman 3 years older than Tang San is worth a lot of gold. Yan, you are so much older than Tang San, you are enough for him to have several times as many gold bricks. Besides, Grandpa doesn't think that Yu Xian Heng is that good. If that's the case, what's the harm in having another backup, Yan? After hearing this, the woman buried her face in her chest, her face as red as a ripe apple, and she reluctantly retorted, Grandpa, I am very loyal to my feelings. If you say that again, Yan will ignore you. Tang Clan Banquet Hall. Lin Rong and the old butler found a secluded corner in the VIP seats and sat down, waiting for the banquet to begin. Not long after he sat down, he saw Du Gubo and Du Yuan walk in. After Du Gubo came in, he quickly found Prince Zuxing in the crowd, and walked directly there with his granddaughter Du Yuan to sit down at the same time. In another place, a sturdy middle-aged man knelt on one knee on the ground and reported to the 6 people in front of him, Master, elders, an uninvited guest has barged in with a woman. That person is extremely powerful. The aura she exudes alone makes it impossible for the gatekeepers to have the slightest desire to resist. I am incompetent. Please let the sect master and the elders make the decision. Where did that man come from? Tang Yuhua, who was dressing up Tang San, paused slightly, and her usually calm tone showed a ripple. I'm not sure, but the intruder was an old man with green hair and green eyes. Green hair and green eyes. Tang Yuhua heaved a sigh of relief when she heard that. She thought that the spirit hall had sent people to cause trouble, but she was just worrying too much. But then Tang Yuhua said with some displeasure, that person is poison Douluo Dugubo. How could he not have an invitation? How did you do it? You actually missed a title Douluo. The Tang sect invited all the prominent forces in Xiandao City, but did not send him an invitation. Dugubo felt that he had lost face, and it was consistent with his usual style of doing things, but you don't have to worry. With Dugubo's identity, it's not difficult for him to guess Xiao-san's background. Don't worry that he will do something too outrageous at Xiao-san's birthday party. The middle-aged man kneeling on the ground was speechless. He was not the one who sent the invitation, so how could he know that such a thing would happen? However, if the Tang sect disciples who went to deliver the invitations heard these words, they would also cry out that they were wrong. Dugubo seldom stayed at home, and Du Yuan spent most of his time at the Xiandao Royal Soul Master Academy. Therefore, most of the time, Dugu Mansion was empty when the Tang sect disciples delivered the invitation to Dugubo's house. The house was empty. Tang Yuhua's words were well-founded and true, but Niagao was the only one present who felt uncomfortable after hearing them, and complained inwardly, "What bad luck." The Tang sect is an independent sect, but I didn't expect it to rely on the reputation of the Xiaotian sect. Among the 4 elders of the Tang clan, Tai Tan is a die-hard fan of Tang Hao. Lu Gao is obsessed with hidden weapons above all else. Bai He has an unbreakable blood relationship with Tang San. Only Niagao does not have the absolute loyalty of Tai Tan to Tang San, nor the blood relationship between Bai He and Tang San, nor is he as important to the Tang sect as Lu Gao. At the same time, Niagao is also the only one among the 4 elders of the Tang sect who is still full of resentment towards the Xiaotian sect. Niagao was already very angry because Tang Yuhua was here. Now that he could no longer endure it, he simply left under the pretext of going out to calm the situation, as Titan was Niagao's old friend for many years. How could he not know what Niagao was thinking at the moment? Looking at Niagao's departing back, Titan opened his mouth and wanted to say something, but in the end no sound came out, and at this time, Tang San, who had been silent just now, suddenly spoke. You just said that person is poison Douluo, so he must be very good at using poison. That's right. Tang Yuhua combed Tang San's hair and said, he is known as the world's poison master. His poison skills are unmatched in the world. Xiao San, I know you have a deep understanding of poison, but you have to understand that poison is something that cannot be put on the table. Poison is extremely effective against the weak, but against the truly strong, poison is no more effective than a small amount of magic. Even though Dugubo's poison skills are unrivaled in the world, he is only at the bottom among all the titled Douluo. Xiao San, you should spend less time studying poison in the future. Tang San listened to this, but remained unmoved. As a disciple of the Tang sect, Tang San certainly knows that poison is something that cannot be presented in public. Because of this, in the previous life, the inner disciples of the Tang sect all learned how to use hidden weapons, and only the outer disciples would smear poison on the mechanical hidden weapons. But everything cannot be generalized. In Tang San's opinion, this world's understanding of poison is still too superficial. There is no information about mixed poisons in the records of various poisons. Of course, this was the conclusion Tang San came to after not having contact with the Po Yi clan with the Buddha's Wrath Lotus, the #1 mechanical hidden weapon. As a reference, Tang San had an accurate judgment on the power level of the Tang sect's various hidden weapons in this world. The highest ranked among the extremely poisonous hidden weapons is the soul-chasing death-taking King of Hell Post, which ranks 3rd among the technique hidden weapons. Tang San had absolute confidence in his heart that even if a title Douluo was poisoned by the soul-hunting death taking Yamanotis, the only outcome would be death from the poison. Unfortunately, there is very little research on poisons in this world, and various precious poisonous herbs are difficult to find. If there are 3 treasure bowls recorded in Zuanshan Baolu in this world, even if I can find any one of them, I have the confidence to use the herbs grown in them to refine the soul-chasing and life-taking Yamanotis. Seeing Tang San's indifferent look, Tang Yuhua sighed in her heart that Tang San was worthy of being her brother's son. He was the type of person who would not listen to others' advice once he made up his mind about something. End of this chapter. Chapter 59 Hongmen Banquet. Alright. Tang Yuhua put the comb on the dressing table, looked at Tang San, who was carefully dressed by her in the mirror, and said, "Little birthday boy, it's your turn to come out. Don't keep the guests waiting too long." In front of the dressing table, Tang San looked at his radiant self in the mirror and smiled confidently. "Yes, the guests have been waiting for so long. It's time for the finale to begin." In the banquet hall, the dignitaries sat together with people they knew, talking to each other in low voices until one moment, the sound of footsteps was heard. "Welcome, all guests, to attend Mr. Tang's birthday celebration and bring glory to the Tang clan." Before I saw the person, I heard his voice first. Everyone present turned their eyes towards the entrance of the banquet hall, wanting to see the legendary leader of the Tang sect with their own eyes. I saw a 9-year-old boy walking in front of the 5 people. He was wearing a festive red robe, and his long black hair was tied behind his head with a red headband. On his left side followed Yurksun Lord Tang Yuho and Li clan leader Taitan, and on his right side followed the master craftsman Li Gao and Min clan leader Bai. Tang San's appearance successfully caused a round of whispers among the dignitaries present. "Is this Madame Yu's nephew? He has a good temperament, but his appearance is average." It doesn't matter if your appearance is average. When it comes to marriage, the most important thing is status and power. Marcus Yi, I remember you have a daughter who is very beautiful, but she still has no partner. What do you think of the leader of the Tang sect? The topics discussed by the powerful and wealthy are almost all about marriage. It's no wonder, since Tang San looks just like a newlywed groom in the corner. Lin Rong watched this scene and thought, Tang San shouldn't make such a mistake. Could it be that this guy really wants to form an alliance? It's not impossible. The marriage is 100 benefits for Tang San and has no harm. Without the childhood sweetheart relationship between Xiao Wu and Tang San in the original novel, Tang San would never be attracted to a woman with his personality. There is no love, only exploitation. I don't know who will marry Tang San in the end. Beside Tang San, Bai had been looking for someone since he entered the banquet hall. Where is he? Where is he? Bai looked around and finally found Lin Rong sitting in the corner of the banquet hall. Found it. Bai. He narrowed his eyes, clenched his hands tightly in his sleeves, and felt so angry that his teeth were itching in the corner. Lin Rong noticed Bai's gaze, but did not say anything because he was too lazy to argue with a dying man. The little birthday boy appeared and the birthday celebration soon began. However, most of the guests present were here for hidden weapons, and Tang San knew this clearly. So, after one stick of incense, the birthday celebration came to an end, and it was time for the highlight of the day, the appreciation of hidden weapons. The Tang sect disciples presented various hidden weapons one by one on a huge rectangular table: silent sleeve arrows, innuendo, stomping crossbow, tight back flower crossbow, huge crossbow. Lin Rong just took a look at these hidden weapons and then looked away. He thought that since Tang San held such a grand banquet, he would bring out some really good things. I'm overthinking it. How could Tang San reveal his true identity to outsiders? 4. Each hidden weapon displayed on the long table, Tang sect disciples took turns demonstrating its usage and power, causing many guests to exclaim in surprise. Although these powerful people are all soul masters, they have been pampered for generations and neglected the cultivation of their soul power, resulting in generally low levels of soul power. After seeing the power of hidden weapons with their own eyes, they were both afraid and eager to use these hidden weapons that could threaten their lives. This was exactly what Tang San was happy to see. He wanted to use the help of these powerful people to take the first step towards making the Tang clan famous. After the hidden weapon display, Tang San said that today the Tang sect would put out 10 sets of hidden weapons for sale, and everyone present could raise the price freely. The 10 guests with the highest bids would get the 10 sets of hidden weapons. Hunger sales. Lin Rong shook his head and thought, impossible. Tang San can't possibly understand these things. He probably just doesn't want too many hidden weapons to be revealed. Time passes quickly. There was a fierce bidding war. In the end, 2 of the 10 sets of hidden weapons fell into the hands of the royal family. Among them, Prince Zuzing won 1 set and Zhu King won 1 set. Lin Rong guessed that Jin Ringsu was thinking about finding some skilled craftsmen to reverse the drawings of the hidden weapons so that they could be mass-produced. She didn't even think about it. If it were so easy, would the 7 treasures glazed tile sect still cooperate with Tang San so obediently? After the auction of the hidden weapons, the banquet was actually over in just a few moments. 70% of the dignitaries present had left after a while. After the 3 royal family members left, the only guests present were Lin Rong, Ning Fengzi and Du Gubo. The atmosphere at this moment is a bit weird. Ning Fengzi, who stayed here, originally had business to discuss with Tang San, But he suddenly remembered what Douluo Gu Rong had whispered to him after they entered the banquet hall. Then, Ning Fengzi looked at the old butler Yu Yuan meaningfully, stood up and said to Tang San, "Master Tang, Fengzi I suddenly remembered that he has some urgent matters to deal with. Let's make an appointment another day to discuss in detail." After saying that, Ning Fengzi took Ning Rongrong and Gu Rong out of the banquet hall. At this point, besides Tang San and his group, there were only 4 outsiders left in the banquet hall: Lin Rong, the old butler, Dugubo, and Du Guyan. Tang San was very satisfied with the current situation. He could tell at a glance that Dugubo and Du Guyan, grandfather and grandson, were poisoned, and he had a way to cure this life-saving favor, coupled with his attainments in poison, gave Tang San the confidence to subdue Dugubo. At the same time, Tang San also learned from Bai that the crystal blood dragon ginseng was in Lin Rong's hands before, when the 4 single-attribute clans gathered together. Bai had asked Yang Wudi indirectly about the crystal blood dragon ginseng. It turned out that Lin Rong did not take out the crystal blood dragon ginseng to make medicine for Yang Wudi in this way. The crystal blood dragon ginseng is likely to remain intact in Lin Rong's hands. Thinking of the record of the crystal blood dragon ginseng in the Xuanshan treasure record, Tang San couldn't help but feel excited. The peerless immortal items that only existed in legends in the previous life actually exist in this world. Perhaps even the 3 legendary treasure bowls in the world really exist in this world, but they are hidden in some unknown places, waiting for people to explore. The Tang sect was established not long ago, and in order to maintain its reputation, Tang San mercifully did not intend to rob it, but planned to use 1 million gold soul coins to buy the crystal blood dragon ginseng back. He believed that facing the oppression of the 3 soul Daolus, Lin Rong would make the right choice. "Master Tang, the tea is getting cold. Don't you want to replace it?" Seeing Tang San standing there immersed in his own fantasy, Lin Rong spoke up to break the silence. "The time for publishing new chapters has been modified. Originally, 1 chapter would be released at 0:05 and 6 o'clock. After today, we will release 2 chapters at 10 a.m. This way I have more time to revise the parts that are not well written." End of this chapter. Chapter 60. What is bullying the weak? About a year ago, the White Crane tribe leader was so poor that he could only use leaves as tea to entertain guests. Today, not only is he wearing gorgeous clothes, but he can also use the best Maojian tea to decorate the banquet to entertain guests. As Lin Rong spoke, the teacup on the table floated into the middle of the crowd. Sky blue soul power emerged and heated the tea in the cup through the air. "You must have enjoyed spending the 1 million gold soul coins of this Duke. Then, do you know that a completed transaction is like spilled water, which cannot be taken back? If you don't understand the principle that spilled water cannot be undone, you have really lived in vain all these years. Hey!" The teacup suspended in the air shattered with a sound, and the tea in the cup spilled and fell to the ground among the people of the Tang sect. The rest were shocked by Lin Rong's arrogant words. Only Tang San maintained the calmness of a killer and reacted the moment the teacup broke. "It's impossible to undo what has been done?" "That's not necessarily true." Tang Sam finished speaking this sentence at an extremely fast speed, while at the same time, he activated his Zhuangtiangong to its extreme. Afterwards, Tang San used extremely ghostly movements to create numerous phantoms on his way forward. Then, the soul power surged into his hands and grabbed the tea that was falling in the air. These are the 2 unique skills of the Tang sect: ghost, shadow, mystery, and controlling cranes and capturing dragons. Everything happened just as Tang San expected. The falling tea was affected by the power of the controlling crane and capturing dragon palm, and changed its trajectory and flew towards his palm. However, when the tea flew into his palm as he wished, Tang San's expression suddenly changed. "What?" The tea wrapped in soul power in Tang San's palm seemed as heavy as a mountain. The sudden heaviness made Tang San, who was unprepared, kneel on one knee in an instant. Despicable. He actually put a hidden trick in the tea. During this period, Tang San instinctively released his spirit blue silver grass to help him relieve the pressure, and 2 yellow spirit rings appeared and rhythmically moved under his feet. "Master Xiao San." 4 men and 1 woman. A total of 5 exclamations rang out almost at the same time. Just as Tang Yuhua and the 4 elders of the Tang clan were about to move forward, a suffocating pressure instantly locked onto them. At the same time, a cold voice came into their ears. "Everyone present, anyone who takes a step forward will die, except for Lin Rong and Tang San." Everyone else present cast shocked, fearful glances at the old butler Yu Yuan. The old butler, who had been standing silently beside Lin Rong, had his gentle smile on his face disappear without a trace. and was replaced by a cold expression and cold murderous intent in his eyes. The pressure that made the three soul Daoist, Titan, Niu Gao, and Bai feel suffocated was emanating from the old butler and locked onto them tightly. No, it's impossible. This can't be the kind of pressure that a Contra can release. Among the 5 people, Bai was trembling all over, with an expression of disbelief on his face, and his words were trembling, unless, you are, title. Douluo. On the side, Dugubo said these 4 words for Bai. That he was reluctant to say while saying this. Dugubo's face no longer had the indifferent look it had before. His emerald green pupils were filled with fear, and he almost instinctively protected his granddaughter Du Yuan behind him. However, among everyone present, the person who was most shocked was Tang Yuho. Over the years, she has been using her delicate skills to navigate among the top dignitaries in Xiandao City. Tang Yuho didn't know every detail about the old steward of the Lin family, but she had learned a very thorough information about him through various means and channels. It was precisely because she understood it thoroughly that Tang Yuho was so shocked when what happened before her eyes. According to the information she had learned, the soul power of this old steward of the Lin family should be around level 85. How could he suddenly become a title Douluo? Bai He's eyes moved back and forth between Lin Rong and the old housekeeper. Suddenly, he came to his senses as if he had suddenly realized something. He gritted his teeth and said, Crystal Blood Dragon Ginseng. It must be Crystal Blood Dragon Ginseng. Apart from this, Bai he really couldn't think of anything that could allow Yu Yuan to break through to the title Douluo in less than a year. Bai he thought he had figured out the reason, but he felt mixed feelings of regret if he had known earlier that the Crystal Blood Dragon Ginseng was a legendary peerless immortal product. Bai he would never trade the Crystal Blood Dragon Ginseng, no matter how many gold soul coins Lin Rong offered. Among 5 people, Tang Yuho and Li Gao, due to their strength, were unable to move at all after being locked under the pressure of the old butler. Although Bai he is a soul Douluo, he has been a pure agility soul master for his entire life. He has long lost the sharpness of a combat soul master in his heart and is unwilling to resist this pressure from the bottom of his heart. Although Niu Gao is a soul Douluo of a fighting soul master, he is able to break free from the pressure released by the old butler. However, he was loyal to the Tang sect, but not much, and more of a mentality of enjoying the shade under a big tree. Niu Gao knew that he couldn't do it if he tried his best to save Tang Sen. Moreover, the loyal and righteous Niu Gao also grabbed Titan to prevent this stubborn old friend from risking his life for this. As for Titan, with Niu Gao's constant secret persuasion, his rationality barely prevailed at this point. Tang Yuho and the 4 great elders of the Tang clan all stood obediently where they were, and no one took a step forward. The old butler Yu Yuan is a title Douluo, and this situation immediately disrupted Dugubo's expected plan. Dugubo's original purpose was to let his granddaughter seduce Tang San so that he could get some powerful hidden weapons for his granddaughter to use for self-defense. But now, in Dugubo's eyes, Tang San offended Lin Rong in order to stand up for Bai he, which was equivalent to indirectly offending Lin Rong's old butler. A mere hidden weapon is not worth it for Dugubo to risk offending a being of the same realm to save Tang San. Therefore, Dugubo took his granddaughter Du Yuan's hand and prepared to go out. Unfortunately, God did not wish. As soon as Dugubo stood up, he heard Lin Rong's calm voice, Mr. Dugu, did I let you go? When Dugubo heard this, he turned around abruptly, with the cold light flashing in his eyes. However, when Dugubo turned around and saw Lin Rong, he also saw the old butler beside Lin Rong, which made him suppress the anger in his tone and said with a gloomy face, Young man, don't think that just because you have a title Douluo under your wing, you can tell me what to do. Sitting in the seat, Lin Rong leaned back comfortably, while continuing to put pressure on Tang San with his mental power. He smiled calmly and replied, calling you sir is just a little respect for the title Douluo, a piece of trash who has broken through to the title Douluo level for so many years but whose soul power is still at level 91. What qualifications do you have to be rude to this duke? Hearing this, Dugubo was stunned for a moment. The next second, an uncontrollable rage surged into his heart, causing Dugubo's eyes to bulge as he roared, Junior, you are going too far. Under Dugubo's feet, 9 soul rings appeared one after another, yellow, yellow, purple, purple, black, 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 black. Immediately afterwards, emerald green poisonous mist burst out from Dugubo's palm and spread rapidly in the direction of Lin Rong. But a strange thing happened. The old butler beside Lin Rong did not take any action to intercept the poisonous fog, but chose to leave it alone before Dugubo had time to figure it out. A scene he couldn't believe appeared before his eyes. Once the emerald green poisonous fog he released came within 10 steps of Lin Rong, it was like white snow meeting the red sun. and it instantly melted away without a trace. At this moment, the green dragon vine on Lin Rong's wrist, which was hidden by her sleeves, had a dragon-patterned jade bead that emitted a light pink light that was invisible to outsiders. This light pink light comes from the immortal herb, Yaoxiang Kilo immortal herb, one of its many functions. It is immune to all poisons within a radius of 10 steps. The light shield formed by the light pink light cannot be seen by outsiders, and Douluo does not know about the immortal herb. He was a titled Douluo, but even a casual attack was easily resolved in a way he couldn't understand. You can imagine the blow he felt. The existence of the Yaoxiang Kilo fairy product was only one of the reasons why the old butler did not take action. The most direct reason was that Lin Rong secretly told the old butler not to take action rashly. Douluo, just be a spectator here honestly, otherwise, humph. Before Lin Rong's last cold snort had even finished uttering, the old butler had already directed his pressure on Douluo and Yu Yuan at the same time. Yu Yuan was just a soul master. Under the pressure that the old butler deliberately released a little more, blood immediately flowed from the corner of his mouth. Yan. Douluo hurriedly released his soul power to protect his granddaughter, looking at Lin Rong with vicious eyes. But just as Douluo was about to take action, he immediately thought that if the two titled Douluo fell out, he would be sure to kill Lin Rong in a battle, but his granddaughter would definitely not survive. Based on this, Douluo did not dare to gamble with his granddaughter's life. He actually obediently took Yu Yuan back to her seat and honestly served as a spectator. Seeing this, Lin Rong's gaze returned to Tang San. Tang San, who was already kneeling on the ground, was now trying his best to hold the tea in his palm. Wow, what a strong mental power. Tang San's heart was already filled with huge waves. He could never have imagined that in this world, there would be people of his age whose mental power far surpassed that of himself, who had cultivated the purple demon pupil. After this confrontation, Tang San realized that the opponent's means of telekinesis actually came from mental power, so he subconsciously wanted to use his mental power to fight against Lin Rong. In Tang San's imagination, as long as he used his own mental power to offset the mental power that Lin Rong exerted on the tea soup, he could turn defeat into victory by controlling the crane and capturing the dragon. But the reality is so cruel. When Tang San used the purple demon pupil with all his strength, he was unable to shake even the slightest bit of the spiritual power that Lin Rong had added to the tea. The indestructible feeling coming from the spiritual level made Tang San realize that the spiritual power of the person in front of him, both in quality and quantity, far exceeded his own. End of this chapter. Chapter 61. Surrender and Death. Do you dare to bet with me? The huge pressure was transmitted to Tang San through the tea, causing him to gasp for breath and say, "Let me recover, and then we can have a fair and just fight." Bet. Lin Rong sat on the chair, looking down at Tang San kneeling on the ground, and said sarcastically, "The situation is under my control, why should I bet with you?" After hearing this, Tang San wanted to say something else, but the weight of the tea in his palm suddenly increased, causing Tang San's hands to slam to the ground. The tea soup swayed in Tang San's palm and almost touched the ground several times. At this moment, the humiliation in Tang San's heart reminded him of everything he had experienced in the Xiaotian sect when he was 6 years old. A gentleman can be killed but not humiliated. You have humiliated me like this, and you are already seeking death. These words roared out in Tang San's heart. Afterwards, Tang San completely fainted due to the huge consumption of physical strength, soul strength and mental strength, as well as the humiliation he suffered in his heart. Without the control of the crane and the dragon, the tea soon flowed from Tang San's palm to the ground. Look. Lin Rong signaled Bai He to look at Tang San, who had fainted on the ground, and said, "Words said, deals done, are like spilled water, and cannot be taken back." It is not true that spilled water cannot be recovered, but it is often not much different from the truth. It's just because most people who try to go back on their word are the weak ones on the transaction side. If you have no strength but insist on doing things your own way, this is what you will end up with. So, are you ready to die? If you are willing to die calmly, I can give you a dignified death. These words sounded like the devil's whisper in Bai He's ears, making his face turn pale in an instant. The fear of death made his body go limp, and he fell to the ground. Although the arrogance in his heart kept roaring, telling him not to be so cowardly. However, the spine-tailed Swift's martial spirit, which has no combat power, destined Bai He to be unable to get rid of the inferiority complex that comes from his bones. The ancestral teachings he received since childhood made Bai He develop an aloof and proud character, but in the face of death, this aloofness is so vulnerable. Suddenly, The devil's humming that kept repeating in his mind gave Bai He an idea, and he said as if he had grabbed a life-saving straw, "You said that if I voluntarily died, you would give me a decent death, so, can I choose how to die?" This made Lin Rong a little confused. Bai He was actually willing to die on his own initiative? This was beyond his expectation, but soon, Lin Rong thought of something from Bai He's words and thought, "This old guy actually wants to play word games with me. Choose a decent way to die, and after I agree, you can choose to die of old age, right? What? A nice thought, no." Lin Rong refused decisively and then changed the subject, "But, I suddenly had a better idea." As he spoke, Lin Rong took out a snow-white herb from the dragon-patterned jade bead. After taking it out, Lin Rong gently pinched its crystal-white branches and leaves, lowered his head and gently sniffed the leaves at the top of the herb that looked like a swan's neck. This is Snow Swan's Kiss, one of the magical herbs. Lin Rong used his soul power to extract a drop of colorless and transparent essence liquid from the grass leaves kissed by the snow-colored swan, and said with a gentle smile, "Bai, as long as you drink a drop of the juice of this herb, I will pretend that the incident with the crystal blood dragon ginseng never happened, and I will never bring up the past again." How do you think? This sudden change in style made Bai He a little confused, and he took a few steps back in fear. Seeing Bai He's cowardly performance, Lin Rong simply delivered the extracted essence liquid to Bai He's mouth and said, "You can choose not to drink. As a price, I will let you both destroy your soul power, and you will lose your noble status as a soul master and become an ordinary person from now on. Bai He, you'd better think it over before making a decision." Although Lin Rong knew that using the life and death of the Min clan as a threat would be more effective, it would be like using Yu Yuan to threaten Dugubo, but he had no intention of releasing the Min clan from the beginning. In addition, he also needed to establish himself as a man of his word in front of Dugubo, so he gave up the idea of using the Min clan to threaten Bai He anyway. For a soul master, having all his soul power destroyed is something that no soul master can accept. Faced with a choice of drinking a drop of herbal juice of unknown effect and having his own soul power destroyed, he believed that Bai He would choose the former. Time passes minute by minute. Half a minute later, gurgle sounds. Bai He swallowed, closed his eyes, and swallowed the transparent herbal juice suspended at the corner of his mouth in one gulp. At this moment, Bai He's heart rate reached an unprecedented high, and he was mentally prepared to deal with the expected great pain. I'm fine, Bai He's face showed the joy of surviving the disaster, but it did not last for half a second before every inch of flesh and blood, every muscle and bone in his body burst into thousands of pains of varying sizes. After Bai He swallowed the essence of the Snow Swan's Kiss, it spread to every part of his body in an instant. Those various tiny viruses hidden in the white crane's body multiplied thousands of times under the nourishment of the medicinal properties of the Snow Swan's Kiss. Originally, these viruses were small in quantity and low in toxicity, but after these viruses have been amplified thousands of times, they are enough to pose a threat to Bai He. If there are only one or two viruses, Bai He can use his soul power to eliminate them, but at this moment, the number of viruses erupting in Bai He's body is more than tens of millions. This is also thanks to the fact that Bai He and Yang Wudi used to be best friends. Yang Wudi is obsessed with refining medicine and poisons, and every time he does so, he will inevitably be contaminated with toxin residues. Bai He has a close relationship with Yang Wudi, and because of financial problems, he often goes to Yang Wudi's house to beg for money. In this way, Bai He was more or less contaminated with various toxins during the physical contact with Yang Wudi. Normally, these toxins are diluted countless times and the quantity is not large, so naturally they will not have any impact on the white cranes. However, once the white crane comes into contact with a special magical herb Snow Swan Kiss, its medicinal properties will be absolutely fatal to it, and there is no possibility of survival. The miserable and terrifying roar echoed in the banquet hall. In just a few seconds, Bai He's hair fell out, and spots of different colors appeared on every inch of his skin. Immediately afterwards, the white crane's flesh and blood began to rot and pus and blood began to flow. Thousands of fierce poisonous gases were wafting from the white crane, which made Dugubo, the title Douluo with a title named Poison, tremble with fear. Not to mention the other people present. Niagao quickly moved away from Bai He, and Titan also pulled away. Lu Gao and Tang Yuho while moving away from Bai He. Without ever being contaminated by the poison gas in his life, millions of poisonous gases were constantly corroding the white crane, and soon all the flesh and blood on the crane's body was corroded, leaving only a skeleton full of holes. But the skeleton quickly dissolved in the poisonous gas, leaving no residue or debris. Old white bird, Tai Tan and Niagao stood there in despair, Muttering to themselves, they simply couldn't believe that a drop of herbal juice could destroy a soul Douluo in just a few seconds. What the hell is that, Dugu? Bo stared at the crystal white turban Lin Rong's hand. There was a deep fear hidden in his fearful eyes. With his many years of attainment in the art of poison, Dugu Bo could be sure that the snow white herb was not poisonous at all. Moreover, even if there were, it would be impossible for one herb to contain tens of millions of different toxins at the same time. After careful consideration, a horrifying answer appeared in Dugu Bo's mind, an answer that he could not believe. Dugu Bo almost subconsciously wanted to destroy this herb that posed a fatal threat to him, but the old butler's pressure was always on him and his granddaughter Du Yan in his arms, which made Dugu Bo dare not act rashly. Dugu Bo. At this time, a still calm voice sounded. Lin Rong lowered his head and fiddled with the snow swan kiss in his hand, and said in a brisk tone, "I heard that you are known as the world's drug king. Well, would you like to drink a drop of the juice of this herb as well? Don't worry, this juice is not poisonous. If you don't believe me, I'll drink a drop and let you see, or you can let Uncle Yu drink a drop and let you see." Upon hearing this, Dugu Bo instantly tightened his grip on his granddaughter's hand, feeling torn between his conscience and his desires. He has been in the underworld for many years, so how could he not hear the thread and hidden meaning in these words? If you surrender, you will live. If you don't, you will die. But Lin Rong's mysterious anti-poison method, the herb that can make the poison grow thousands of times, and a titled Douluo whose strength is suspected to be above his, all of this made Dugu Bo unable to muster the heart to resist, especially when he felt the coldness of his granddaughter's palms due to fear. He lost the courage to fight. The struggle between the conscience and the desire in Dugu Bo's heart soon came to an end. He put down his granddaughter in his arms, knelt on one knee to show his submission, and said in front of everyone's astonished eyes, "I am willing to serve the Duke, and I hope you can spare my granddaughter's life." Really? Lin Rong raised his head and looked at Dugu Bo, who was kneeling on the ground, and asked, "What about your sincerity, Dugu?" Bo had anticipated Lin Rong's question and answered, "To show my sincerity, I will make the Min clan completely disappear from this world, leaving absolutely no one alive. In that case, go quickly and come back soon. I'm waiting for your sincerity." After hearing Lin Rong's words, Dugu Bo stood up, glanced at Du Yan, then turned around and disappeared in the banquet hall. Nowadays, although the members of the Min clan are all in Xiandao City, they are scattered around the city because they are carrying out scouting missions. If Dugu Bo wants to fulfill his sincerity, he will not be able to return in an hour or two. While waiting, Lin Rong once again looked at the people from the Tang sect. "Everyone, Bai is dead, but the matter of your sect leader offending this duke should also be settled." "I didn't oversleep. I just changed the time of posting again." "I did not oversleep. I just changed the time of posting from now on. New chapters will be released at 10 a.m. End of this chapter." If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelists. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 62 Conditions. Duke Lin, you know Xiaotian is my second brother's son. Tang Yuhua, who had recovered from her shock, opened up her own innate field. The noble ring, the gentle and natural power of the domain restored some of her rationality and clarity. She spoke to Lin Rong in a half-persuasive, half-threatening tone. "Xiaotian has the support of the Xiaotian sect. Don't you think it's too much for you to force her like this? Besides, every wrong has its perpetrator. Xiaotian is just standing up for his subordinates. This is his duty as the sect leader. Now that Bai is dead, Xiaotian, you have already taught him a lesson. It would be better to stop now. This will be good for both your Lin family and our Xiaotian sect." It was obvious that Tang Yuho had regained some of her sanity, but not much. Nia Gao's old face turned as black as coal because of the people who kept talking about Xiaotian sect. "Really?" After hearing this, Lin Rong pretended to be enlightened and said sarcastically, "So the Tang sect is a subsidiary sect of the Xiaotian sect? I'm so sorry, but why did I hear that the Tang sect is an independent sect, madam? Are you trying to frame me?" Tang Yuho had not recovered much of her rationality to begin with. After hearing what Lin Rong said, she was immediately confused and spoke out her true thoughts. "Yes, that's right. My second brother, my eldest brother, and I are the only siblings, and we only have one child. No matter what, Xiaotian is the only heir to the position of the leader of my Xiaotian sect. Therefore, Xiaotian is not only the leader of the Tang sect, but also the future leader of the Xiaotian sect. The master is strong and the ministers are weak. From the day the Tang sect was founded, it was destined to be a vassal of the Xiaotian sect. Even if my Xiaotian sect is closed, my second brother and eldest brother are both titled Douluo. As for you, even with Duuluo, you are just barely even. One is the weakest titled Douluo, and the other is a titled Douluo who just broke through a few years ago. How can they be compared with my two brothers? Xiao Sam is the apple of our eyes. If you dare to hurt him, aren't you afraid that my two brothers will come and seek revenge, madam? Yu Lin Rong still had that calm expression and retorted, you should know without me telling you how terrible the consequences will be if you openly assassinate the hereditary Duke of the Empire. If nothing else, Madam Yu's Yuxun will definitely not be able to continue operating. Xiaotian sect has closed its doors to the public. If they lose Yuxun, their only source of income, will the once #1 sect in the world be reduced to begging on the streets? That's not right. The Xiaotian sect doesn't even dare to leave the mountain gate. Even if they want to beg on the street, they can't do it. They can only eat tree bark in the mountains. Moreover, your elder brother Tang Xiao, as the current leader of the Xiaotian sect, cannot leave the sect until the Xiaotian sect announces is coming to the world. As for your second brother, Tang Hao is undoubtedly a peerless genius, but before his battle with Pope Kaiang Sunji, his soul power cultivation was well known as a soul Douluo. After the battle that year, news came out that Tang Hao had broken through to the title Douluo level. A newly promoted title Douluo severely wounded the long-established Spirit Hall Pope to death, which not only earned him the title of the youngest title Douluo on the continent, but also earned him an unparalleled reputation as a vicious person. But these are just the most superficial information. If you look into it carefully, anyone with a brain can figure it out. Faced with Jin Zunji, whose soul power cultivation is at least 95 and who possesses the six-winged angel spirit, even if Tang Hao, who has just broken through to the title Douluo, severely injures and defeats him, how can he escape unscathed? So, the fact that Tang Hao and Jin Zunji were both injured in the fight should be the true situation of the battle that year. Pope Kaiang Sunji died from his injuries. Even if Tang Hao survived, how good would that make him? Lin Rong's well-reasoned analysis left Tang Yuho speechless. As a direct disciple of the Xiaotian sect, Tang Yuho understood better than anyone how pedantic the elders in the sect were. Lin Rong was right about one thing. As her elder brother was the current leader of the Xiaotian sect, those pedantic elders would never agree to her elder brother coming out before the Xiaotian sect was announced. As for the fact that Tang Hao was seriously injured, Tang Yuho had never thought about it before, because in Tang Yuho's heart, her second brother is so talented that no one of his peers can be a match for him. When the news came out that year that Tang Hao became a title Douluo and severely injured Pope Jin Zunji, Tang Yuho's fanatical obsession with her second brother since childhood made her never think that while her second brother was seriously injuring Jin Zunji, he would also be seriously injured by Jin Zunji. But at the same time, Tang Yuho's remaining rationality made her realize one thing. Since Lin Rong was willing to explain so much to her, it showed that he did not want Xiao San's life. After all, injuring and killing are two different things when the strength of both parties is equal. The former tends to make a big thing small and a small thing nothing, but the latter is a feud that will never end. After Tang Yuho figured it out, she felt more at ease and steadfast in her heart. She asked in a calm tone, Duke Lin, what exactly do you want us to do in order for you to stop this? It's very simple. Seeing that Tang Yuho was willing to give in, Lin Rong bluntly said what he wanted: Xiaotian sect's secret technique. One of the mysteries of the divine skill Great Sumeru Hammer, the ring explosion, impossible. Tang Yuho shouted subconsciously, then she realized that the situation was stronger than she was, and she shouldn't use that tone, so Tang Yuho sorted out her thoughts and tried to explain in a calm tone, Duke Lin, you just said that this is the secret skill of my Xiaotian sect. It has always been passed down from sect master to sect master. How can a woman like me who has not awakened the Xiaotian hammer possibly get it? So, you should change the conditions, really. As he said that, Lin Rong stretched out his hand and grabbed Tang Sen, who had fainted on the ground, and lifted him up in the air. I'm sorry, Madam Yu, please ask your good second brother to come and seek revenge on me. Tang Sen, hanging in the air, drifted to the position whereby he was before. There, a large pool of deadly venom accumulated on the ground, making a sizzling sound and corroding the floor. Wait a moment, seeing this, Tang Yuho hurriedly shouted, let Xiaosan go, and I agree to your conditions. My Brother knows how to blast the ring. I will lie and say that Xiao-san wants to know the secret of the great Sumeru hammer in advance, and get the secret of the blasting ring from my brother, he. Lin Rong grabbed Tang-san back and extracted another drop of juice essence from the snow swan kiss. Of course I can trust Madame Yu's words, but I cannot trust Sect Master Tang's, and, in order to ensure that this goes smoothly, I have to keep a hand so that I can feel at ease. The pure life force turned into pale blue glow, wrapping up the essence of the drop of snow-colored swan's kiss. Then, Lin Rong flicked his finger and shot it into Tang-san's slightly opened mouth. Here, your sect master is returned to you, Lin. Rong waved his hand and threw Tang-san to Titan. Seeing Tang Yuho and Titan panicking, Lin Rong calmly explained, don't worry, that drop of juice essence has been wrapped by my life force. During this period, as long as that layer of vitality is not broken, the medicinal effect of the juice inside will not take effect. However, that layer of vitality can only last for 7 days. After 7 days, it will dissipate on its own. Within 7 days, Madame Yu, as long as you give me the secret of the great Sumeru hammer regarding the ring explosion, I will help Tang-san take out that drop of juice from his body. Time waits for no one. Madame Yu, it would be better for you to leave immediately. After all, this round trip will take quite a while. Finally, a friendly reminder, the life force I applied can only remain safe after it comes into contact with a force of the same origin. Once you try to crack it, that layer of life will disappear instantly if it comes into contact with a force other than mine. At that time, that drop of herbal juice will instantly spread to all parts of Tang-san's body. You all know very well what the consequences will be, so I advise you not to touch it carelessly, otherwise you will bear the consequences at your own risk. These words made Titan pause when probing into Tang-san's soul power. He felt cautious and did not dare to act rashly. End of this chapter. Chapter 63. The song ends and everyone disperses. In the banquet hall, Tang Yuho and Titan looked at each other. Finally, the two of them whispered a few words, and Tang Yuho hurriedly left. Lin Rong knew that Tang Yuho was going to her brother to ask for the ring to explode, so she did not stop her but let her go. After that, here is the banquet hall. Apart from the sizzling sound of the large pool of venom on the ground, there was no other movement. The atmosphere around the three elders of the Tang sect was even more confusing and bizarre. A few hours later, the skies getting dark, and the earth is dyed with ink. Dugubo, who had been gone for a long time, walked in under the shadows of the trees in the sunset. I have kept my word. The entire Min clan has been wiped out, leaving no one alive. Dugubo walked straight to his granddaughter, looked at Lin Rong and said, Sir, according to the agreement, you should release my granddaughter. Release Duke Yan? Lin Rong was speechless and said, You are all mine now, why would I touch your granddaughter? After saying this, Lin Rong threw a jade bottle to Dugubo and said, There are 3 Dragon Rhyme Immortal Ganoderma pills in the jade bottle. After taking them, you can improve your aptitude and soul power level. At the same time, this elixir has the miraculous effect of promoting the evolution of dragon spirits. I don't need to tell you this. When you open the jade bottle and smell it later, the desire from your spirit will let you know this. This pill can improve the aptitude of the user as young as possible, and can improve the soul power of the user only if the soul power does not exceed level 50, but there is no limit on promoting the evolution of dragon spirits. There are only 3 Dragon Rhyme Immortal Ganoderma pills in total. The effect will be halved with each additional pill you take. It's up to you whether you take them yourself or give them to your granddaughter. After hearing this, Dugubo gently opened the stopper of the jade bottle and carefully sniffed it. When he put it to his nose, the sweet fragrance of the elixir overflowed from the mouth of the bottle. The fragrance contained a slight medicinal power of the 9th grade Dragon Ganoderma, which aroused the throbbing of Dugubo's green phosphorus Snake King martial spirit. Dugubo quickly plugged the mouth of the jade bottle with a cork, thinking, it actually aroused the desire of my martial soul. This little bastard is right, with such a sweet and refreshing scent. This elixir should be non-toxic. However, to be on the safe side, we should scrape some of the powder down and try it out. After confirming that it is non-toxic, we can give it to Yanayan. Afterwards, Dugubo put away the jade bottle, bowed and thanked, I thank you, Your Excellency the Duke. Lin Rong did not respond after hearing this, but stood up from his chair and left the Tang clan with the old butler. Upon seeing this, Dugubo was anxious to go back and test whether the pill Lin Rong gave him was really non-toxic. and he hurriedly left the Tang sect with his granddaughter. From the moment the four of them walked out of the Tang sect, which had been bustling all day, was finally free of outsiders at dusk. The shadows of the trees are very long. Niagao was the first to break the confusing atmosphere and said to Titan in a stiff tone, "Old gorilla, I'm not going to stay in this broken Tang sect anymore. I will take the Yu clan away and return to Longsing City to continue living. If you are willing to continue to work like a slave for the Xiaotian sect, everyone has their own aspirations, and I have no objection, but from now on, I will just treat you as my brother." After saying that, Niagao strode out of the banquet hall without waiting for Titan to say anything. "Old Rhino. You wait a minute." Titan put Tang's sand down and planned to chase after Niagao to stop him from leaving, but just as he took half a step, Lu Gao, who was standing beside him, grabbed him. "Titan, it's useless. You and Niagao have been friends for so many years." If he wasn't completely disheartened, he wouldn't have said what he just said. Honestly speaking, what that woman said was a bit too much. The master is strong and the minister is weak. What a strong master and weak minister. In my opinion, the Tang sect has hidden weapons in hand. As long as it develops, it will definitely become the world's #1 force in the future. In addition to my obsession with forging throughout my life, the only thing I wanted was to change the status of our blacksmiths. Before this, I had never seen any hope until the Tang sect's hidden weapons appeared, but if what that woman said is true, the Tang sect will definitely become a vassal of the Xiaotian sect, and then the humble status of blacksmiths on the continent will never change. When I heard this, I was deeply shocked. If it weren't for my obsession with hidden weapons, I would have made the same choice as Niagao. Put yourself in their shoes. If I have no grudges against the Xiaotian sect, I would feel the same way. Then, how angry and disappointed would Niagao, who has some great grudges against the Xiaotian sect, feel in his heart? Lu Gao's persuasion made Titan reflect. Xiaotian sect, it's Xiaotian sect again. When the master fought with the previous pope, the reputation of the Clear Sky Hammer reached its peak, but that damn Xiaotian sect, which usually acts like the best sect in the world, runs away faster than anyone else when something bad happens. It would have been fine if they had abandoned our 4 single attribute clans, but they even expelled the master from the Xiaotian sect, the pride of our sect, because they were afraid of the spirit hall. After all these years, we finally met the young master. Under his wise and powerful leadership, we established a Tang sect, and we old brothers were able to reunite. But now, all the efforts made by the young master have been destroyed by that woman Tang Yuhua. The young master has clearly stated that the Tang sect is an independent sect, but that woman kept mentioning the Xiaotian sect, causing me to mistakenly believe that the Tang sect was a vassal of the Xiaotian sect. This caused me to lose my best brother. If the master is not a disciple of the Xiaotian sect, and the master cares about the Xiaotian sect, otherwise, I really want to kill my way to the gate of the Xiaotian sect to vent my hatred. Oh, and that old white bird guy, if he hadn't mentioned that broken ginseng to the young master, how could what happened today have happened? Without what happened today, this old man and old rhino would still be best buddies, and the young master wouldn't have suffered such humiliation for nothing, and his life and death wouldn't be controlled by others like now. Yes, that's right. It's all old white bird's fault. On the side, Lu Gao saw Titan's expression changing from cloudy to bright, and thought that Titan was thinking from his and Niagao's perspective, so his expression changed like that. But Lu Gao is not a Titan, and he greatly underestimated the Titan's fanatical belief in Tang Hao in Titan's heart. As the master, Tang Hao is always right in doing anything. As the young master, Tang San has his reasons for doing anything as a loyal servant. He could not have done anything wrong by following the orders of his 2 masters. The 2 masters were not wrong, nor was he himself. The one who was wrong could only be someone else, and that could only be the Xiaotian sect. Fortunately, Lu Gao does not have the ability to read minds, otherwise if he heard Titan's inner thoughts, he would probably consider running away with the Tang sect's hidden weapon drawings. Lu Gao patted Titan on the shoulder, then left and returned to the forging room to study the hidden weapon blueprints. As the sun sets, the last ray of sunset disappears at the end of the sky. The huge banquet hall lost its last ray of light and fell into deep darkness. End of this chapter. Chapter 64 Ring Explosion and Breakthrough. 7 days later, deep inside the manor under the bamboo pavilion, Lin Rong flipped through the thin booklet in his hand. The exploding ring is the ultimate secret of our sect's magical skill Big Sumeru Hammer. Once performed, it allows the user to fully release the power of their own spirit ring, instantly enhancing their own attack power and generating a powerful force far beyond their original strength. The higher the quality and age of the soul ring, the greater the power released when it explodes. As a price, after using it once, the soul master will lose all soul rings within 3 days, and only soul power will remain, which will take 3 days to gradually recover. Moreover, after using the soul ring once, it must be at least 36 days before it can be used again, otherwise the soul ring may be truly destroyed. The heirs of the Xiaotian sect must keep this in mind. Ring explosion is a disparate skill and extremely dangerous when used if not controlled properly. The user may be engulfed by the energy generated by the exploding ring. The stronger the user's physical fitness, the lower the risk. To be on the safe side, it is recommended to have at least 3 soul bones that are more than 50,000 years old before using the explosive ring. Finally, the Great Sumeru Hammer is a secret technique of our sect and must not be revealed to outsiders. Remember this. Remember this. Remember this. The following is the method of practicing the ring blast. Sand. The sound of turning pages of books could be heard in the quiet courtyard. The booklet was very thin and Lin Rong finished reading it in a short while. So, this is the method of practicing the ring explosion. It's simple and rough. It's no wonder that it was researched by that old man Tang Chen. Such an amazing talent. What a pity. In the original novel, among the indigenous people of the entire Douluo continent, only Tang Chen and Bibi Dong truly stood at the top of the pyramid of cultivation talent. There is no need to say much about Bibi Dong. The fact that Jinring Su, her daughter who did not fully inherit her talent for cultivation, was able to qualify for the 9th test of the angel test indirectly reflects how high Bibi Dong's talent for cultivation is. Tang Chen relied on his own strength to cultivate his soul power to the 99th level, and he reached the 99th level 3 years earlier than the first generation. Sea Gutter talent is even higher than Bibi Dong. It's a pity that such a person, who clearly had the hope of creating his own godhood and then ascending to the divine realm, was born in Douluo continent. Love brain syndrome lurks deep in the hearts of most of the indigenous people on the mainland, and will occur once the need arises. But Tang Chen was so unlucky that when he should not have met Poseidon, they met and fell in love with each other in order to become a god as quickly as possible and thus be qualified to marry Poseidon. Tang Chen gave up the time-consuming and labor-intensive method of creating his own godhood and turned to look for an existing godhood successor. When Tang Chen finally found the inheritance of the throne of God Shuro, he lost his mind due to the interference of God Rakshasa during the 8th test of Shura. He was parasitized by the dark gold 9-headed bat king and fell into the king of killing. If Tang Chen had the same personality as Jin Daoliu, and valued family business and inheritance more than love, he would not have fallen to such a lamentable state in the original novel. It is no wonder that all the members of the Tang family in Douluo are love-brained. After all, they have an ancestor who is extremely love-brained. His thoughts returned to the right track, and Lin Rong repeatedly flipped through the booklet that recorded the ring explosion. At least 3 soul bones older than 50,000 years are needed to ensure the user's own safety. I only have 2 of the 3 soul bones now, and that's including the external soul bones. Moreover, the age of the 2 soul bones has just grown to 4,000 years, and it's still a long way from 50,000 years. It's Grandpa Yu. 100,000-year soul bone is worth 2. We only need a soul bone over 50,000 years old to meet this condition. It will take another 6 years to obtain the skull of wisdom that condenses the spirit. Oh, this time is really long. Lin Rong looked up at the distant sky, his thoughts drifting away. 2.5 months later, Xiandao Royal Soul Master Academy, the volcano mimicry training ground. Finally, a breakthrough. At the crater, Hongjun ended his meditation practice with an excited look on his face. At only 9 years and 1 month old, my soul power has broken through level 30. With such a record, except for the Duke, no one should be faster than me. However, Hongjun didn't know that Ning Rongrong had already broken through to level 30 long before him because of absorbing 2 10,000-year soul bones in succession. Even if Ning Rongrong was not there, there were still the owners of the 6-winged angel spirits of the Jin family in the spirit hall because the 6-winged angel martial soul is innately at level 20 with full soul power, even if its own aptitude is a little poor. After continuously absorbing the first and second soul rings, the soul power at the weakest can directly break through to level 23, with 7 levels of soul power remaining. He only needed to break through 2 levels of soul power every year to reach level 30 before the age of 9. Take Jinring Su as an example. In the original novel, he is in his early 30s, with a soul power of around level 70. 30 years old minus the 6 years of martial soul awakening. 71 level soul power minus the innate 20 level soul power and the 7 level soul power of 7 soul rings. Jin Ringsu cultivated a total of 44 levels of soul power over a period of 24 years. The soul power increases by 1.8 levels on average every year. However, this was because Jin Ringsu's training was delayed due to her undercover mission before she was 9 years old. Jin Ringsu, who had not been on any undercover missions, could not possibly increase her soul power by less than 2 levels each year. Therefore, it was absolutely certain that Jin Ringsu would break through to level 30 before she turned 9. Even Lin Rong himself could only claim that he had set an unprecedented record because he was 7 years and 9 months old when he broke through to level 30. I'm already level 30 now. I can get my first Millennium Spirit Ring in my life. I'm a little excited. What should I do, Ma? Hongjun waved his hands excitedly, then thought of something and muttered quietly, also, the Duke said that after I reach level 30, I will be given an important mission. I don't know what it is. Oh, I can't think of it. Never mind. I'll know when I come back from soul hunting, Ma. Hongjun scratched his head naively, left the volcanic mimicry training ground, went to the library of the Xiaotian Royal Soul Master Academy to find Su Pan and tell him the good news. Break through level 30, Su Pan put down the book on military strategy and his hand vocal communication is prohibited in the library, so Su Pan used soul power to transmit sound to talk with Ma Hongjun. Good boy, a soul master in his early 9s, you have really made great progress, uncle. Su, look, I have already broken through level 30. So when are we going to the Soul Beast Forest to get soul rings? Look how anxious you are. Just be at ease. The Duke is looking forward to your breakthrough to level 30 even more than I am. So, the soul beast you need for your 3rd soul ring has already been captured alive and brought back in advance, and is being kept in captivity in the Duke's manor. Great. What kind of soul beast is it? How old is it? Your 3rd soul ring is a 7-colored mysterious sound bird that has been cultivated for more than 2,200 years. 7-colored. Mysterious sound bird? What kind of soul beast is that? Is it powerful? The 7-colored mysterious sound bird is an extremely rare flying soul beast. It not only possesses a high concentration of phoenix blood, but also possesses the most rare and precious ability of music. Although the 7-colored mysterious sound bird is not a fire-attributed soul beast, the phoenix cry itself is a talent possessed by all phoenixes, and your fire phoenix martial soul is no exception. Therefore, even if this 7-colored mysterious sound bird is not a fire-attributed soul beast, it is highly compatible with your fire phoenix martial soul. End of this chapter. Chapter 65. 7-colored mysterious sound bird. While the two were talking via telepathy, Su Pan sorted out the books on the table, and left the library with Ma Hongjun, heading towards the Duke's mansion. About an hour later, the manor is located in a villa. Uncle Su, where's the 7-colored mysterious sound bird? Why can't I see it, Ma? Hongjun stood in the villa and looked around. Finally his eyes fell on the only flying bird in the villa. It was a white bird with an ethereal and spiritual temperament, its feathers pure white. Just like the snow on the cape, there was no other soul beast in the entire villa except this white bird. So Ma Hongjun was a little puzzled and asked, it can't be the bird in front of me, but it's colorful. Colorful. The feathers of this bird are all white. It's hard to believe, isn't it? Su Pan stood aside, patted Ma Hongjun on the shoulder, and said, Hongjun, try to possess the body with your martial spirit, and then control the fire phoenix martial spirit to make a phoenix cry, and you will know. Okay, I understand. Ma Hongjun nodded obediently. Then he shouted in a very immature way, fire phoenix possessed. In an instant, golden red flames flowed all over Ma Hongjun's body. The originally red long hair turned into dazzling golden red, and even the eyes turned into a bright golden red behind Ma Hongjun. The golden red flames condensed into the shadow of a fire phoenix, and a pair of phoenix wings spread out from Ma Hongjun's back. Kyang. There was no need for Ma Hongjun to actively control it. After the fire phoenix martial spirit possessed his body, a loud phoenix cry sounded automatically. The sound of the phoenix echoed throughout the villa. The white bird in the cage seemed to be called by the phoenix's cry. It spread its wings and flew in the relatively spacious cage. The white bird's pure white feathers also emitted brilliant colorful light at this moment. At the same time, a mysterious melody sounded in the villa. The melody was so ethereal and holy that Ma Hongjun was immersed in it unconsciously, as if he was soaking in a clear spring. washing away all the filth in his body and making him feel refreshed from the inside out. A long time when Ma Hongjun woke up, the colorful bird in the cage had returned to its previous state. At the same time, Su Pan's voice came to his ears. This is the innate soul skill of the seven-colored mysterious sound bird, mysterious sound of heaven, whether it's a soul master or a soul beast. The first time they listen to the mysterious music of nature, they can be cleansed in their souls, and the true effect of Zuan'an Xianlei is an all-round group enhancement spirit skill. It has multiple effects, including releasing control, healing, increasing attributes, and boosting morale. This soul skill also covers a very wide range. According to ancient records, any soul master whose martial soul is compatible with the seven-colored mysterious sound bird, after absorbing its soul ring, will be able to obtain soul skills that have some of the effects of the mysterious sound of heaven, which is a magical skill for the army. Among them, the more compatible the martial soul is with the seven-colored mysterious sound bird, the higher the quality of the martial soul will be, and the better the effect of the soul skills obtained after absorbing the soul ring will be. Because of this, soul beasts like the seven-colored mysterious sound bird have almost become extinct due to the massive hunting by soul masters. Every several hundred or thousand years, among the descendants of soul beasts with a bloodline of the seven-colored mysterious sound bird, there is a chance that one will be born with a bloodline that reverts to its ancestral form and evolves. My brothers were lucky enough to find and capture this colorful bird alive, although the cultivation level of this seven-colored mysterious sound bird is over 2,200 years old, which exceeds the limit of an ordinary third soul ring. But you are different, Hongjun. You have been training hard over the years, and you have absorbed a fairy-grade herb. As long as the age of your soul ring is no more than 2,500 years, you can absorb it. Moreover, after absorbing the coxcomb phoenix sunflower, your martial soul has evolved into true fire phoenix, and is a well-deserved top-grade beast martial soul. It can be said that if you absorb this seven-colored Zuan'an bird's soul ring, there is a great probability that you can completely inherit all the effects of Zuan'an Xianlei. After explaining, Su Pan walked into the cage and knocked the white bird unconscious, then caught it and placed it in front of Ma Hongjun, signaling him to quickly kill the soul beast so that he could absorb the soul ring. Ma Hongjun nodded and did as he was told. The golden-red phoenix flame condensed into a small knife in his hand, which he then stabbed into the white bird's body, ending its life. Looking at the lavender soul ring condensing in front of him, Ma Hongjun took a deep breath, sat cross-legged on the ground and began to absorb it. Perhaps the seven-colored black sound bird did not experience much pain before its death, or perhaps it had understood its own fate during the 6 months in captivity when Ma Hongjun absorbed this soul ring. The power contained in the soul ring was surprisingly gentle, which made him not suffer much pain in the process of absorbing the soul ring. And the whole process was unusually smooth. Half an hour later, the lavender soul ring was already firmly planted under Ma Hongjun's feet. Soul power level 32, soul skills. After absorbing the soul ring, Ma Hongjun felt his own situation for the first time, and a look of surprise appeared on his young face. Su Pan, who was standing by to protect the law, knew that it was safe when he saw Ma Hongjun's expression, but he still couldn't help asking, "Hongjun, how is it? What is the effect of the third spirit ring, uncle?" "Su, please don't be impatient. Let me tell you slowly." Ma Hongjun stood up from the ground and answered calmly, "My third soul skill is called Bian Feng Zhuan Yin, which is similar to the innate soul skill of the seven-colored Zhuan Yin bird, Zhuan Yin Bian Lai. The first is the soul skill coverage. The initial range is 1 kilometer in radius. With each additional soul ring, the soul skill coverage increases by an additional kilometer. I now have 3 spirit rings, and the coverage range of Xianfeng Zuan'an is 4 kilometers. Then there are the soul skill enhancement effects. The instant release of the soul skill, slight healing, a 3% increase in all attributes, and a continuous stimulation of fighting spirit. In addition, the more people this soul skill enhances, the more enhancements the soul skill will give me. For every additional 10,000 people enhanced, the soul skill will be able to provide me with a 1% increase in all attributes. The best part is that this soul skill consumes very little soul power, which is only slightly higher than my current soul power recovery speed. After hearing this, Su Pan was not surprised. The effect of Xianfeng Zuan'an is almost the same as Zuan'an Xianlei. The only difference is that there is an additional amplification feedback for every increase of 10,000 people. This soul skill will provide a 1% increase in all attributes. It sounds low and useless, but that is for everyday situations on the battlefield. This is an absolute magical skill. If 10,000 people give feedback that all attributes increase by 1%, then 1,000,000 lines will give a 100% increase in all attributes possessing the battlefield skill of Xian Feng Zuan. Hongjun is simply a natural military commander. This reduced a lot of pressure on Su Pan's shoulders. Su Pan knew that the Duke wanted him to study military affairs and tactics in order to assist Hongjun in becoming the future commander-in chief of the three armed forces of the empire. Without battlefield skills like Dian Feng Zhuanyin, Hongjun is just a talented soul master. Although he can be somewhat valued in the army, he still needs to accumulate experience and win military merits. But with the magical battlefield skill of Xian Feng Zuan, everything is different. He doesn't need to plan carefully. After knowing the situation, the current Grand Marshal of the Empire will definitely train Hongjun as the next successor. Not to mention, the Imperial Marshal Jialong owed the Lin family a favor. End of this chapter. Chapter 66. Jialing Pass. Xianling Mountains. Located on the southern border of the Sky Dou Empire, the mountain range runs from east to west and stretches for thousands of miles. It is one of the largest mountain ranges on the continent. South of the Xianling Mountains is a narrow strip of flat plain. This plain is rich and prosperous, and is the fiefdom of the Kingdom of Barak, one of the four vassal kingdoms of the Sky Dou Empire. In the center of the mountain range, there is a magnificent pass known as Jialing Pass. Jialing Pass has a natural strategic location and is easy to defend but difficult to attack. It has been a battleground for military strategists since ancient times, with a situation that one man can block the passage of 10,000 men inside the pass. In the camp, a middle-aged man in his 30s or 40s was sitting cross-legged on the couch with his eyes closed in meditation. Marshal, a young soldier walked into the tent, saluted the middle-aged man, and reported in a moderate voice, "The current Duke of the Lin family is here with his men, and they are waiting outside the gate." "Marshal, please make the decision, nephew." "Lin." The middle-aged man on the couch opened his eyes, with a hint of doubt and surprise in his eyes. Then, the middle-aged man stood up from the couch and instructed the young soldier, "Let them in." A quarter of an hour later, Lin Rong, along with the old butler, Su Pan and Hongjun, walked into the tent. "Uncle Jin, long time no see." In terms of seniority, Grandpa Lin Rong and Jialong's father are of the same generation, and Lin Rong's father and Jialong are of the same generation. Lin Rong and Jialong are one generation apart, so they address each other as uncle and nephew. "It's been a long time since we last met. The last time we met was during your full moon banquet. But you didn't remember anything at that time, so you probably didn't remember me. I guess your housekeeper told you." Jeff Long walked forward, picked up Lin Rong and lifted him above his head, and said with a smile, "At that time, you were still a little kid. More than 8 years have passed, and my dear nephew has grown so big now. You are much heavier when I hold you now than when you were 1 month old." After a while, Jialong gently put Lin Rong down, looked at the three people behind Lin Rong and asked, "Who are these?" Among the three people brought by Lin Rong, Jialong only recognized the old housekeeper Yu Yuan. As for Su Pan and Hongjun, Jialong did not recognize them. "Uncle Jin, let me introduce you." Lin Rong pointed at the two of them and introduced them. "This is the captain of my palace's guard, Su Pan, and this boy's name is Hongjun. He is a talented spirit master from a commoner family and possesses the top east spirit, the Fire Phoenix, Fire Phoenix martial spirit." Jialong couldn't help but take another look at the red-haired boy in front of him, and his mind instantly became active. The reason why Lin was able to rise to the position of Grand Marshal of the three armies of the Sky Dou Empire was that, in addition to his extraordinary martial arts, he also possessed a lot of strategy and wisdom. When Lin Rong introduced Hongjun, he specifically emphasized the fact that Hongjun was born a commoner and had the Fire Phoenix spirit. This gave Jialong a clue to think about the purpose of Lin Rong's visit. Sky Dou City is thousands of miles away from Jialing Pass. Since my nephew is willing to bring a talented soul master of civilian origin here, it must not be as simple as asking him to join the army. Jeff Long's eyes turned, as if he had thought of something, and he exclaimed in his heart, "Hiss! You're after the spot under my butt." After figuring it out, Jialong looked at Hongjun carefully, then turned to ask Lin Rong, "My dear nephew, this child doesn't look much older than you. He is probably about 9 years old. With the Fire Phoenix martial spirit, I'm sure his innate spirit power won't be too low. Since this child was brought to me by you, my nephew, could it be that he is already a great spirit master?" A great spirit master who is just over 9 years old is indeed extremely talented. After hearing this, Lin Rong didn't say anything, but just shook his head to deny it. When Zhelong saw this, he was not disappointed at all. After all, a 9-year-old great soul master, even if he is a genius with full soul power, needs to cultivate 3 levels a year to achieve it. After absorbing a soul ring and breaking through to level 11, however, full innate soul power is so rare that even the top-grade beast martial spirit, the fire phoenix, cannot guarantee that its accompanying soul power will be at the innate full level. However, the possibility of having innate full soul power is not high, but the possibility of having innate 9th level soul power is still very high. Moreover, Hongjun was born a commoner, so his fire phoenix martial soul must have mutated. Mutated top-grade martial souls usually come with extremely high accompanying soul power, so Zhelong guessed, if he is not a great soul master, then he must have soul power of at least level 18 or 19, right? Lin Rong still shook his head to deny, which made Zhelong frown deeply. Seeing this, Lin Rong gave a small hint. Uncle Jem, your guess is too low. You should guess higher. Guess higher. Zhelong blurted out instinctively, above the level of great soul master. Isn't that soul venerable? How is it possible for a 9-year-old soul master? Seeing Zhelong's determined expression, Lin Rong turned to Hongjun and said, Hongjun, show us your spirit ring and let Uncle Jie open his eyes. Understood. Hongjun responded, took a few steps forward, and summoned his martial spirit to possess his body. During the process of the fire phoenix martial spirit possessing the body, soul rings symbolizing the soul master's identity and realm began to appear one after another on the side. Goran stared intently. The first yellow 100-year soul ring, the second yellow 100-year soul ring, the third purple 1000-year soul ring, yellow, yellow and purple, the best soul ring combination of 2 yellows and 1 purple, the cultivation level of soul master. This was nothing in Zhelong's eyes, but Hongjun in front of him was only 9 years old. He really is a 9-year-old soul master, even though he saw it with his own eyes. Goran still found it hard to believe that the scene before his eyes was real. My dear nephew. After Zhelong came to his senses, he looked at Lin Rong with a meaningful look and asked, why don't you keep such a genius in your house, but let him join the army instead? Mr. Yu is already old. Wouldn't it be better if you keep this man and train him well, and let him take over Mr. Yu's position in the future? After hearing what Zhelong said, Lin Rong showed the reason with his actions. Uncle Jem, look, besides Hongjun, there is another peerless genius in front of you. As he spoke, 3 soul rings, 2 yellow and 1 purple, appeared one after another under Lin Rong's feet. I can support the Lin family by myself, so, Uncle Jem, I have no reason to keep Hongjun in the Duke's mansion. Looking at the 3 soul rings with deeper colors in front of him, Zhelong was so shocked that he was speechless. It was not until a while later that Zhelong was shocked to find that Lin Rong had revealed his soul ring without releasing his martial soul. In Zhelong's impression, only titled Douluo can reveal the soul ring without releasing the martial soul, but his nephew clearly only had the cultivation level of a 3-ringed soul master, so how could he be able to do things that only a titled Douluo could do? End of this chapter. Chapter 67, The Position of the Imperial Marshal. So, Zhelong couldn't help but ask, nephew, what's going on with you, Uncle Jer? Are you talking about Wuhan? Lin Rong understood what Zhelong was asking and answered, just some tricks, not worth mentioning. In fact, as long as the soul master has a high degree of control over his own martial soul, he can reveal the soul ring without releasing the martial soul in this world. The reason why only titled Douluo can do it is because only when a soul master has cultivated to the level of titled Douluo can his control over his own martial soul meet the requirements. Lin Rong practiced the Zisujing as early as after breaking through the first realm of empty mind and self-transformation of the body in the Washing Marrow Sutra. Lin Rong was able to achieve absolute control over the 9-curved vine dragon martial soul. In addition, when Lin Rong broke through level 30 and obtained the soul ring of the Azure Ivy, the 9-curved vine dragon was fully awakened, and a dragon soul consciousness was born that absolutely obeyed his orders. With this dragon soul consciousness, even without the blessing of empty mind and self-transformation of the body, Lin Rong can rely on the absolute obedience of the dragon soul to him and thus fully control his own martial soul. Uncle Jer, I know you have concerns. Seeing that Zhelong stopped talking after asking the question just now, Lin Rong tried to persuade him. Imperial law expressly prohibits hereditary nobles from interfering in military power. Therefore, All the great marshals of the empire in the past were genius soul masters who came from common people, just like you, Uncle Jem. However, Uncle Jem, although Hongjun has been recruited by me, it is an indisputable fact that he was born a commoner. The most important thing is that Hongjun is only 9 years old this year. What bad intentions can a 9-year-old have? This. After hearing this, Jelong expressed his last concern. My dear nephew, I might as well tell you, this kid has a good background and is talented enough. Logically speaking, when he grows up, he will be able to take over my position, but the position of Grand Marshal of the Empire is not something I can give to anyone I want. It requires the personal order of His Majesty to confer the title. Although this child was born a commoner, he was trained in your house for several years. I'm afraid that His Majesty will not let him take over my position. After hearing this, Lin Rong knew that Jelong himself had been dealt with, and the next step was to eliminate the last worry in his mind, and the task would be accomplished. Uncle Jer, don't worry about this. I wonder if you have ever heard of this saying, when a person is popular, no one can stop him. As long as Hongjun can win the support of all the soldiers, I believe that your wise and powerful majesty will comply with the soldiers' sincere hearts. As for why I am sure that Hongjun can win the support of all the soldiers, you will understand after experiencing it yourself. After saying that, Lin Rong turned to Ma Hongjun and said, Hongjun, it's time to show Uncle Jet your third soul skill. Remember, the range of the soul skill should not be too large. Just cover this tent. Yes. Ma Hongjun answered promptly, then looked at Jelong and said, My lord, please take a look. As soon as he finished speaking, the lavender soul ring under Ma Hongjun's feet lit up. Third soul skill, Heavenly Phoenix mysterious sound, clang clang. A clear and stirring phoenix cry echoed in the tent. After hearing the phoenix cry, Jelong suddenly felt full of fighting spirit and strength. At the same time, a weak warm current flowed through his body, making Jelong feel an indescribable comfort. After a moment's reflection, Jelong looked at Ma Hongjun and said, Child, your third soul skill should be taken from a flying soul beast with a bloodline of the 7-colored mysterious sound bird. It boosts morale, increases all attributes by 3%, and there is a slight warm current in the body, which should be a continuous slight healing effect. As for whether the control was released or not, I don't know. The Fire Phoenix is indeed a top-level bird martial spirit. It has only absorbed the soul ring of the soul beast with a bloodline of the 7-colored mysterious sound bird. The effect of its soul skills is almost the same as the legendary mysterious sound of heaven. Can you tell me, Marshal, what is the coverage range of your third soul skill? Since my nephew is so confident, the coverage of your spirit skill should not disappoint me. Ma Hongjun scratched his head and corrected honestly, Sir, you guessed wrong. My third soul ring was taken from a genuine 7-colored mysterious sound bird. As for the coverage of the spirit skill, the initial range is 1 kilometer in radius, but each additional spirit ring can increase the range by 1 kilometer. I am now a 3-ring soul master, and the coverage range of my third soul skill, Heavenly Phoenix mysterious sound, is 4 kilometers in radius. After hearing this, Jelong was surprised and quickly calculated in his mind. The initial radius is 1 kilometer. After practicing to the title Douluo, 9 spirit rings can increase the radius by 9 kilometers, for a total of 10 kilometers. If the martial soul's true body is used, the coverage range of the third soul skill will be doubled, which means it will be 20 kilometers in radius. Jelong was shocked, glanced at Lin Rong beside him, and sighed, My dear nephew, you are really well prepared. I admit that I cannot refuse a genius soul master with such divine skills. No wonder you are so confident. With such a skill, it will be easy for this kid to win the support of all the soldiers. It seems that I will have to give up my position as the Grand Marshal of the army in a few years to make way for this kid. Swords and knives are merciless on the battlefield. Once we fight, it's either you die or I live. Every time soldiers go to the battlefield, they are walking on the threshold of life and death. Especially for the lowest level soldiers, the chance of surviving on the battlefield is already a blessing in disguise at this time. Ma Hongjun's third soul skill, Xian Feng Zuan, has 3 other effects besides the control release. When releasing the soul skill, whether it is the inspiring fighting spirit, 3% of all attributes, or continuous slight treatment, each of these 3 effects taken alone can greatly increase the chances of soldiers surviving on the battlefield when these 3 effects are combined. It will be a completely crushing battle. Unless the enemy is a legion of soul masters, Hongjun's soul skill greatly increases the soldier's chances of survival on the battlefield, and naturally wins the heartfelt support of all the soldiers by then, relying on Hongjun's prestige in the army. Even if he is not the commander-in-chief of the army, he will be able to disobey orders and lead all the soldiers to openly violate the orders of Emperor Xiaotian and still be safe and sound as long as Hongjun does not rebel. Emperor Xiaotian will choose to turn a blind eye due to his prestige in the army. Moreover, rebelling would damage Hongjun's image in the minds of the soldiers. Therefore, if Lin Rong wanted to seize the throne of Xiaotian, he could only put the blame for the destruction of the Xiaotian royal family on Jinriksu in order to avoid the revenge of the Spirit Hall as much as possible. They also had to put the blame of destroying Jinriksu's plan on Tang Sen, asking him to help attract the hatred and firepower of the Spirit Hall. End of this chapter. Chapter 68, Thunder Canyon and the Fourth Soul Ring. That day finally came. The royal Zhou family has been wiped out, and the entire Xiaotian will fall into a dilemma of being leaderless in order to stabilize the situation in the empire. The next royal position will be selected from among the nobles. Among all the nobles in the Dou Empire, the only nobles who are eligible to compete for the next royal family position are the 10 nobles with hereditary titles above the Marquess, namely, 3 hereditary dukes, Lin family, Dragon Soul Vine, Bai family, Heavenly Star Furnace, Shi family, Black Tortoise, 7 hereditary marquises, the Yi family, 9-hearted Begonia, the Os family, Ghost Leopard, the Yu family, Wind Chime Bird, the Wei family, Snow Lotus, the Lu family, Cheyenne Wu, the Zhi family, Ivy, and the Du family, Thousand Leaf Banyan. Although there are more than 3 dukes and more than 7 marquises among the nobles of Dou, except for these 10 families, the titles of the remaining nobles are inherited by downgrading rather than being hereditary. There are 5 ranks of nobility: Duke, Marquess, Earl, Viscount, and Baron. Once the title is downgraded to Baron, there is no lower level to go, and the noble status will be deprived and reduced to commoner. If non-hereditary nobles want to keep their titles and not be demoted, the contemporary heirs of the titles must reach a certain standard in terms of soul power cultivation. For example, to keep the title of Duke, one needs to break through to the Soul Saint level 70. To keep the title of Marquess, one needs to break through to the level 60 Soul Emperor. In terms of soul power, to keep the title of Earl, one needs to break through to level 50 Soul King. In terms of soul power, among the 10 hereditary nobles who are eligible to compete for the next throne, most of them have large families, with the Lin and Yi families being the only exceptions because of the Yi family's inherited martial soul, the 9-hearted Begonia. There can only be 2 soul masters with a 9-hearted Begonia martial soul at the same time. Therefore, whenever the next generation of the Yi family awakens their martial spirits, it is the day when the oldest elder of the Yi family dies. If the elders are not willing to die, the younger generation will die instantly due to the curse of the martial spirit the moment they awaken the 9-hearted Begonia. Therefore, the Yi family could not get rid of the situation of having a small population from the beginning to the end. As for the Lin family, it was simply because the family had always been passed down from one generation to the next, and there had never been any exceptions. Long ago, the ancestor of the Lin family, his father was born into a commoner family, and at the age of 6 he awakened his mutated martial soul, the Dragon Soul Jade Disc. His mother was born into the hereditary marquisate of the Zhi family, and her martial soul was Azure Ivy. When the Lin ancestor awakened his martial soul at the age of 6, the 2 inherited martial souls in his blood merged and mutated, awakening the Lin family's martial soul that has been passed down to this day, Dragon Soul Vine. This connection has made the Lin and Zhi families friends for generations. The Du family, one of the 7 hereditary marquises, is also the maternal family of Lin Rong, the current duke of the Lin family. Therefore, when Lin Rong competes for the throne of Dou in the future, both the Zhi family and the Du family can help him. Although, when the day comes to compete for the throne in the future, Lin Rong will be able to use force to suppress all voices of disobedience in Dou. But of course, the more allies we have, the better. In the tent, Lin Rong sat on the chair next to Zhelong and said, "Uncle Jem, then Hongjun will be handed over to you. My guard will be arranged to be beside Hongjun to protect him closely. Uncle, Yu still has some things to deal with in the imperial capital, so I won't stay here with Uncle Jem any longer. Farewell." After hearing this, Zhelong knew that Lin Rong was making an excuse, but Zhelong also knew that imperial law expressly prohibited hereditary nobles from interfering in military power. As an hereditary duke of the empire, it was indeed not convenient for Lin Rong to stay in a military stronghold like Jialing Pass for a long time. Therefore, Jialong did not try to keep them, but got up and sent Lin Rong and the old housekeeper out outside the door. Jialong stood there to see him off until the carriage that Lin Rong was riding in disappeared from his sight. Then he turned around and went back to the pass-horse carriage compartment. Lin Rong looked back through the car window at the now small Jialing Pass and ordered, "Grandpa Yu, tell the driver to change the route. We're going to Thunder Canyon." "Yes." The old butler did not ask the reason for doing so, but walked out of the carriage and conveyed the young master's order. When the old butler returned to the carriage, Lin Rong entered into a state of cultivation as early as when Hongjun broke through level 30. Lin Rong's own soul power had already been cultivated to the peak of level 38. The day after Hongjun obtained the third soul ring, Lin Rong took him to Jialing Pass. Lin Rong's own soul power also successfully broke through to level 39 a few days before the carriage arrived at Jialing Pass, and he was only one level away from breaking through to level 40. At this time, Lin Rong was only 8 years and 10 months old, 2 months away from turning 9. I only have one level of soul power left. 2 months of training time is enough, and I will only be 9 years old by then. Whether returning to Xiandao City from Jialing Pass or changing the route to Thunder Canyon, it will take about a month. Let's go to Thunder Canyon now. I won't be able to break through to level 40 when I get there, but I only need 1 month of training time. It's just that I can wait for a month, but I'm afraid my fourth spirit ring can't wait any longer. According to the information sent by the secret guards not long ago, the thundering hell vine in the Thunder Canyon is almost unable to suppress the destructive power in its body. This thundering hell vine is really useless. It forced me to go to Thunder Canyon in person to help it suppress the destructive power in its body, but it is my fourth spirit ring after all. I cannot let it self-destruct before I break through level 40. However, if you think about it from another angle, the fact that this thundering hell vine is about to be unable to suppress the destructive power in its body may not be a bad thing. According to the theory in the original book, the greater the pain a soul beast endures before dying, the higher the probability of it dropping soul bones. Since the thundering hell vine in Thunder Canyon can no longer suppress the destructive power in its body, it can be said that it is in extreme pain all the time. In this case, it is very likely to drop a soul bone. Moreover, the soul bone it drops has a high probability of inheriting the thundering hell vine's ability to absorb thunder to grow. I hope my luck is better. The soul bone dropped by the thundering hell vine is not the head soul bone and the right leg bone, but the soul bones in the other 4 positions. Even the torso bone is fine. Anyway, as a 100,000-year-old soul beast, the azure bull python can selectively drop soul bones in fixed positions. Even if it's not the torso bone I want most, it's not bad to change it to another position. However, if the thundering hell vine really drops a head soul bone or a right leg bone, I can only accept it. At worst, I can give that soul bone to Grandpa Yu to absorb, but then I'm missing one of the 6 regular soul bones I pre-selected. It won't be that easy to find another one that suits my taste. After obtaining Kong King Zhu's head soul bone, Lin Rong had already pre-selected 6 soul bones in regular positions. Kong King Zhu has already occupied the head soul bone, and the soul bones in the other 5 positions, except for the right leg bone of the 100,000-year-old blue-silver emperor soul that has not yet been obtained. The other 4 soul bones come from Crystal Blood Dragon Ginseng, Acacia Heartbreak Red, Sky Blue Bull Python, Thundering Hellvine. Among them, the first 3 will definitely produce soul bones, and the location of the soul bones can be chosen according to Lin Rong's wishes. Only the Thundering Hellvine may not drop soul bones. Even if it drops soul bones, the location of the soul bones is random. Of the 6 regular soul bones, the positions of 2 have been determined, and there are still 4 positions available for Thundering Hellvine to choose from. Therefore, once the Thundering Hellvine drops a soul bone, the probability that the location of the soul bone meets Lin Rong's wishes is as high as 2/3. I have always had good luck, and I hope this time will be no exception. After saying this in his mind, Lin Rong stopped thinking about it and calmed down to practice the Zisa Sutra. In the northeastern region of the Sky Dou Empire, there is a huge canyon that is covered with dark clouds and thunder and lightning all year round. Due to its unique geographical environment, this canyon has extremely abundant lightning elements, and it is the largest gathering place for lightning soul beasts in the entire continent. This canyon got its name from this, Thunder Canyon, and is a holy place for countless thunder attribute soul masters to obtain soul rings at the same time. Among the 7 major sects on the mainland, the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus sect, which ranks last among the top 3, has its sect address in Dragon City near Thunder Canyon. The blue lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex martial spirit must absorb the soul rings of dragon or sub-dragon soul beasts in order to possess the ability to transform into dragon among them. The soul beast that best suits the blue lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex martial spirit is naturally a dragon or sub-dragon soul beast with lightning attributes. Nearly 70% of the dragon-type soul beasts with lightning attributes across the continent live in Thunder Canyon. Because of this reason, the blue lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex sect once wanted to occupy the entire Thunder Canyon, turn it into the sect's own property, and prohibit soul masters outside the sect from entering. This kind of overbearing behavior that was detrimental to the interests of all soul masters naturally attracted the attention of the Spirit Hall. At that time, the Spirit Hall still had a member of the Jin family as the Pope. And the people in the Spirit Hall were not as corrupt and incompetent as they are today. After the Pope at that time learned the news, he personally led 3 elders to the gate of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus clan facing the oppression of the 4 titled Douluo of the Spirit Hall. The Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus clan was forced to swear an oath in front of the Pope. I swear as the leader of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex sect that Thunder Canyon belongs to all soul masters, not the private property of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex sect. After receiving the promise, the then Pope of Spirit Hall left in a leisurely manner with the 3 elders. This incident was also recorded in history books and widely circulated, becoming a dark history of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex clan that could never be erased. A month later, Lin Rong stood outside the Thunder Canyon, reading the ancient book that recorded this incident with great interest, and commented, "The Spirit Hall led by the Jin family and the Spirit Hall led by Bibi Dong are 2 completely different things. It is said that big forces are bound to breed some termites, but when the Jin family served as the Pope, the termites bred in the Spirit Hall were much less than when Bibi Dong served as the Pope. The existence of the Spirit Hall is beneficial to civilian spirit masters across the continent, and it also provides all civilians across the continent with a unique opportunity to turn things around. This is an indisputable fact, but who can blame me for not being a beneficiary of the Spirit Hall's existence? The Spirit Hall is blocking my way, and what needs to be overthrown must be overthrown." End of this chapter. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 69: Soul Sex, Soul Ring, Soul Bone. Closing the ancient book in his hand, Lin Rong looked at the secret guards waiting here and asked, "How is the Thundering Hell Vine, Your Excellency?" The secret guard quickly replied, "The Thundering Hell Vine is in a very bad condition. The aura of destruction it exudes has become increasingly violent these days. I'm afraid it's already on the brink of life and death. I estimate that in a day or 2, the Thundering Hell Vine may not be able to hold on." Lin Rong was shocked when he heard this and thought, "Is the situation already that serious?" Fortunately, I rode very fast along the way, otherwise if I had arrived a few days later, my 4th spirit ring would have been gone. The situation was urgent and Lin Rong didn't have time to think too much, so Lin Rong directly released the dragon soul to carry himself and the old butler into the Thunder Canyon. The Thundering Hell Vine is full of destructive attributes. Even if Lin Rong is not clear about its life breath, he can locate the location of the Thundering Hell Vine by relying on his life perception. The reason is simple. Among all the life breaths in Thunder Canyon, the one with the strongest destructive attribute must be the one. Thunder Canyon is huge even in the perception of life. The Thundering Hell Vine was on the outskirts of the Thunder Canyon, but the dragon soul still carried him and the old butler for more than half an hour before arriving. Lin Rong finally saw what the legendary soul beast with the blood of the Thunder God looked like on a cliff in the canyon. There is a protruding rock with a huge vine growing on it. The main body of the vine is dark blue, and it is almost black. 8 thick vines waved wildly, carrying the power of destruction and thunder, constantly whipping the surrounding cliffs. If you look carefully, you will find that among the 8 vines, 1 vine is slightly shorter and thinner than the other 7 vines in terms of length and thickness. The cultivation level of this Thundering Hell Vine is 8,864 years, and it is still constantly absorbing thunder power to improve its cultivation level. After Lin Rong approached, he sensed it slightly and found out the specific age and cultivation level of the Thundering Hell Vine in front of him. With the help of the soul power barrier condensed by the old butler, the dragon soul carried the 2 of them easily to the side of Li Ming and Yu Tang. Such a strong destructive force, even though there was a soul barrier created by the old butler, The destructive force emanating from the thundering hell vine still made Lin Rong feel a little frightened looking at the thundering hell vine that had fallen into a state of madness at such a close distance. Lin Rong decisively released his innate field. The sky blue halo spread from Lin Rong's body and soon covered the entire thundering hell vine under Lin Rong's control. Countless fleeting light green dragon shadows appeared faintly within the coverage area. These dragon shadows were continuously injected into the body of the thundering hell vine, bit by bit transforming the extremely concentrated destructive power in its body into life force. This is the exclusive effect of the vine dragon domain, life dragon soul. However, the wisdom of this thundering hell vine has been completely lost in madness and destruction. Not only did he refuse to cooperate with the treatment, but he also resisted it. It's really troublesome. Seeing this, Lin Rong had no choice but to use the innate soul skill that was awakened from his innate realm, the evil-breaking dragon roar. A dragon roar echoed between the cliffs. The moment the evil-breaking dragon's roar is released, it can remove all negative effects on targets within the range. The wisdom of the thundering hell vine, which was lost in madness and destruction, was naturally awakened by the dragon's roar. After regaining its wisdom, the thundering hell vine began to actively cooperate with the life dragon soul's treatment. After understanding the situation with the active cooperation of the thundering hell vine, the efficiency of the life dragon soul in converting destructive power has been greatly improved. 2 hours later, the life dragon soul constantly transforms the power of destruction into the power of life. The destructive power within the thundering hell vine finally dropped back to the edge of the safety line from approaching the critical point. Looking at this situation, and comparing it to what happened just now, this thundering hell vine should be able to hold on for another 3 or 4 days. Lin Rong looked at the thundering hell vine, which was in much better condition, and muttered to himself, in that case, then treat it every 3 days. Otherwise, if we treat this thundering hell vine too well, it won't be painful enough before death, which will cause the chance of soul bones dropping to be lower, which is not good. Well, that's it. Go back to the camp and practice. Try to break through level 40 as soon as possible, then I won't have to work so hard. After muttering, Lin Rong controlled the dragon soul to carry himself and the old butler away from Thunder Canyon. On the cliff, the thundering hell vine, which was endowed with innate wisdom, was full of questions. How could the patient be cured so well? But suddenly he left. It was the first time in its life that it experienced such a comfortable feeling. It hadn't even enjoyed it enough, so why did it end? It was because Lin Rong's muttering voice was too soft, and Lei Ming Yan Yu Teng was immersed in the enjoyment of the life dragon soul's treatment, so he did not hear what he had just said. Otherwise, after hearing the whole story, Lei Ming Yan Yu Teng would probably have thoughts of self-destruction on the spot. On a hill not far from Thunder Canyon, Lin Rong was practicing in the camp station there, and went to Thunder Canyon to treat the thundering hell vine every 3 days. Time passes day by day. Finally, on the day when Lin Rong was 3 days away from turning 9, his soul power broke through to level 40. Achievement achieved. 8-year-old quasi-soul sect. Once I absorbed the spirit ring of the thundering hell prison vine, the word quasi can be removed. Lin Rong had high expectations for the 4th soul ring. The first 3 soul skills of the 9-curved vine dragon were, the dragon soul awakens, the green leaves mark the sky, and the green river shines in the blue sky. Of these 3 soul skills, 2 are attribute amplification soul skills, 1 is a space soul skill, and there is no output soul skill. Although, with the enhancement of the 2 major soul skills of Dragon Soul Awakening and King Yao Kingshan, the branches and roots of the 9 Benvine Dragon's martial soul are very powerful with every blow. However, Lin Rong currently lacks an explosive means of output. To put it simply, the damage of the 9 curved vine dragon's normal attack is high enough, but it still lacks a high powered output move. Thunder is the most destructive aspect of the wood attribute. The thundering hell vine, which possesses the blood of the god of thunder, stands at the top of the pyramid of all thunder-attributed soul beasts in the realm of thunder. Therefore, the soul skills brought by the thundering hell vine will definitely not disappoint Lin Rong. The dragon soul carried Lin Rong and the old butler to the cliff again. The thundering hell vine growing there felt a little strange when it saw Lin Rong and the others coming. Didn't he just receive treatment the day before yesterday? It's not even 3 days yet. Why is he here now? Never mind. It would be best if I could come every day. This way, I can absorb the power of thunder and grow without restraint. The Treatment every 3 days caused Li Ming and Yu Ten to start acting crazy and seeking death every time Lin Rong came to treat him. The destructive power in the Thundering Hell Vine was almost out of control, but Lin Rong will not change the frequency of treatment because the Thundering Hell Vine is intelligent and knows how to control the degree of its own death. Lin Rong stepped on the dragon soul and walked to the front of the Thundering Hell Vine, then unfolded his innate domain. The Thundering Hell Vine thought that Lin Rong was going to start treatment, so it subconsciously relaxed its mind as it was used to it. However, it did not receive the healing from the life dragon soul, but instead suffered the soul shock and mental impact from the evil-breaking dragon's roar. The Thundering Hell Vine was caught off guard, and its consciousness instantly became confused. Temporarily losing control of its body, Lin Rong also took this opportunity to release the 9-curved vine dragon to end the life of the Thundering Hell Vine. A deep purple soul ring condensed, but Lin Rong did not look at the soul ring. Instead, he asked the 9-curved vine dragon to search among the 8 vines of the Thundering Hell Vine to see if there were any dropped soul bones. The 8 vines of the Thundering Hell Vine were crushed one by one. The first 6 vines did not find any soul bones until the 7th vine was half crushed, and the 9-curved vine dragon controlled a banyan tree root and handed something to Lin Rong at the same time. The main root of the banyan tree in the shape of a green true dragon came in front of Lin Rong, as if asking for credit. "Well done, Lin Rong," praised and reached out to take the thing. "This is a leg bone, the left leg bone. Fortunately, it's not the right leg bone." The soul bone in his hand was a clear dark blue in color. It is clearly a 1,000-year soul bone, but it is unexpectedly complete. In terms of completeness, it is no different from a 100,000-year soul bone. I don't know if this soul bone can inherit the Thundering Hell Vine's ability to absorb thunder and grow. You'll know after you try it. As he spoke, the soul bone in Lin Rong's hand floated above the remains of the Thundering Hell Vine. According to Lin Rong's perception, the soul bone was absorbing the power of thunder bit by bit to increase its lifespan. Very good. The Thundering Hell Vine did not disappoint me. A smile appeared on Lin Rong's face. He reached out and grabbed the soul bone and put it into the dragon pattern jade bead. Then, his eyes fell on the dark purple soul ring. He wrapped the soul ring with his soul power and took it away. There is thunder everywhere here. It is not a good place to absorb spirit rings after the soul ring is condensed. It can exist for an hour. This period of time is enough for the dragon soul to carry them back to the camp outside Thunder Canyon. Half an hour later, after Lin Rong returned to the camp, he sat down and adjusted his breath for a while, then immediately began to absorb the soul ring of the Thundering Hell Vine. Because the Thundering Hell Vine absorbs thunder with destructive power to grow, the power contained in its soul ring is extremely violent. But now, Lin Rong is no longer the same as before. With 3 soul rings that surpass the limit and 2 growth soul bones, he can withstand the power contained in the Thundering Hell Vine soul ring by himself. On this basis, the Cleansing Marrow Sutra refines the power, and the 9-curved vine dragon suppresses and transforms the power of the soul ring. Lin Rong only felt a slight stinging pain while absorbing the soul ring. Lin Rong successfully absorbed this soul ring, which was more than 8,800 years old, in less than half an hour. After absorbing the spirit ring, I felt a tingling sensation, just like a full body massage. Lin Rong stood up from the ground and felt the soul power in his body. I am at the peak of level 42, and I am still 3 levels away from reaching the next level. I will just make do with it. End of this chapter. Chapter 70, Refining Thundergod Bloodline. As for the 4th soul skill, after Lin Rong investigated the soul skills given to him by the 4th soul ring, he was stunned for a moment. 4th soul skill, Dragon Roar Thunder Realm. After use, a thunder barrier will be unfolded. Without Lin Rong's permission, no one can enter or exit at will unless the barrier is broken. After the barrier is deployed, it can absorb the vitality of heaven and earth to sustain itself and no longer consumes Lin Rong's own soul power. At the same time, when Lin Rong was in the barrier, his soul power increased by 100%, the power of lightning elements increased by 200%, his speed increased by 100%, and the dragon power effect attached to his martial soul doubled. In addition, the 4th soul ring also gave Lin Rong a passive effect, control of lightning elements. It is equivalent to having an additional elemental martial spirit that cannot add spirit rings. Even Kong Kings who couldn't give me the ability to control the space element, but I didn't expect that Li Ming and Yu Ten could actually give me the ability to control the lightning element. It seems that no matter how extraordinary Kong Kings whose roots are, they are still not as good as the Thundering Hell Vine that possesses the blood of the Thunder God. Lin Rong raised his palm, and a mini dragon formed by blue thunder swam on his palm. However, The fourth soul skill that the Thundering Hell Vine gave me is good, but it is still an auxiliary gain soul skill, not the explosive output soul skill I want. Fortunately, the Thundering Hell Vine also dropped a soul bone. I hope this soul bone can give me a powerful enough output soul skill. As he spoke, Lin Rong took out the deep blue and transparent left leg bone from the dragon pattern jade bead. Before I gain control of the lightning element, it would be quite troublesome to allow this soul bone to absorb the power of thunder and increase its lifespan. But after I have mastered the element of lightning, I can generate lightning power on my own for the soul bone to absorb, so that this soul bone, like the other two soul bones, is always in a state of evolution. Speaking of which, soul bones are truly the product of the rules of heaven and earth. Obviously, everyone's bones are different sizes, but after absorption it can perfectly fit one's own bone size. Not only that, once the absorbed soul bones are taken out, no matter who absorbs them, they will return to their original size. Lin Rong looked at the left leg bone that fell from the Thunder Hell Vine in his hand. The size of the soul bone was almost the same as that of an adult. It's not just this one. The two complete soul bones produced by Kong King Zhu and Crystal Blood Dragon Ginseng are also the size of adult bones. Even the 3 10,000-year soul bones inherited from the family, although not complete, the corresponding bones of the soul bones are also of the same size. Generally speaking, the older the soul bone is, the more complete it is. When the soul bone is more than 50,000 years old, it is close to perfection in terms of completeness, but it is only close, not truly perfect. Only 100,000-year soul bone is perfect and flawless. However, there are exceptions to everything. For example, the mysterious and extraordinary Kong King Zhu, the Thundering Hell Vine with the blood of the Thunder God, the blood of the Thunder God. Soul bones are the product of the rules of heaven and earth. I don't know if the blood contained in the Thunder Hell Vine can be refined into soul bones. Lin Rong held the soul bone in both hands, guessing in his heart, the reason why the Thundering Hell Vine can absorb the power of thunder to improve its cultivation is because of the Thunder God bloodline contained in its body, and since this soul bone has inherited the Thunder Hell Vine's ability to absorb the power of thunder to improve itself, it is not surprising that the soul bone contains the blood of the Thunder God. Thinking of this, Lin Rong hesitated for a moment, but quickly made up his mind. The four realms of Zisou-jing, the mind is empty and the body is transformed, the perfect understanding of the self-sufficiency, the hidden and visible salvation of all living beings, and the finger-snapping transcendence. Lin Rong has successfully cultivated the first two realms with the protection of the first two realms of the Washing Marrow Sutra. Even if his soul bone contains the blood of the Thunder God, under the refinement of the Washing Marrow Sutra, that little bit of the Thunder God's blood should not be able to pollute the purity of his own blood. He could even use the Marrow Cleansing Sutra to refine the thin bloodline of the Thunder God. After making up his mind, Lin Rong didn't think any more about it. After practicing the Zisou Sutra and regulating his breathing for a while, he began to absorb this soul bone. During the absorption process, Lin Rong used all his strength to practice the Marrow Cleansing Sutra, not daring to slack off in the slightest, and carefully refined every bit of energy carried by the soul bone in the mirror of the mind. Everything is clearly visible. These are the bloodlines of Thunder God. Lin Rong clearly saw that there was a trace of light blue liquid in the energy contained in the soul bone. These liquids seem to have life and are full of activity. The moment they entered his body along with the soul bone energy, they wanted to merge with his own blood, but Lin Rong did not give them any chance. The soul power cultivated from the Marrow Cleansing Sutra quickly wrapped up the liquid without a trace leaking out. Although he encountered resistance from the Thor's bloodline during this period, the Thor's bloodline was too thin after all, and its power was limited. In addition, the soul power cultivated through the Marrow Cleansing Sutra is quite mysterious, and it firmly imprisons the bloodline of the Thunder God. Afterwards, the soul power wrapped these liquids and circulated them through the meridians in the body, removing the impurities contained in the Thunder God's bloodline. Bit by bit, the thread of Thunder God's bloodline was no longer there, and the process of absorbing the soul bone was uneventful. Lin Rong has already absorbed the soul ring of the Thundering Hell Vine, and at this moment, absorbing the soul bone of the Thundering Hell Vine is like a fish in water. However, in order to avoid any residual Thunder God bloodline in the soul bone, Lin Rong took the initiative to slow down the speed of absorbing the soul bone. Strive to proceed steadily and without any mistakes. Time passes slowly. Lin Rong has already absorbed all the energy contained in the soul bone, which means that this soul bone has completely merged with him at this moment. The only thing that has not been completely refined is the Thunder God bloodline circulating in the meridians. The circulation of Qi in the meridians is resumed again. The blood of the Thunder God wrapped in the light blue soul power was finally refined and removed the last trace of impurities. At this moment the originally light blue liquid lost its light blue color after the impurities were removed, and became colorless and transparent like clear water. Only then did Lin Rong begin to absorb the refined Thunder God bloodline with confidence. The refined blood silently merged into Lin Rong's own flesh and blood, and the divine substance contained in the blood subtly nourished his body. After a while, the blood was absorbed completely. Lin Rong opened his eyes, which had been closed for a long time, and his whole temperament seemed to have undergone a subtle change. This slight change was so subtle that others could not notice it, but the old housekeeper who had watched Lin Rong grow up noticed it immediately. "Young master, what are you doing?" Seeing the old housekeeper looking at him worriedly, Lin Rong held the old housekeeper's hand and said, "Grandpa, I'm fine." After absorbing some of the blood of the gods, some subtle changes are normal. You don't need to worry. End of this chapter. Chapter 71. The foundation for becoming a god. The blood of the Thunder God contained in the thundering hell vine is very thin. After Lin Rong absorbed this rare bloodline, his strength did not undergo a drastic change, but the divine substance contained in this thin divine blood gave Lin Rong's body an extremely insignificant trace of divinity. Don't underestimate this divinity. In the future, whether inheriting an existing throne or creating your own, this divinity will be of great help to Lin Rong. In addition, a hint of divinity has been born in the flesh. The unbridgeable gap between the mortal world and the divine has been broken. As this trace of divinity continues to grow and develop, it is possible that Lin Rong will possess a god-level body before he becomes a god. Moreover, the physical body feeds the soul, and the blood feeds the martial soul. As the divinity contained in the physical body continues to grow and develop, under the subtle influence of the other party, Lin Rong's own soul and martial spirit will gradually give birth to divinity. By then, Lin Rong will be able to possess a god-level body, god-level soul, and god-level martial spirit before becoming a god. Moreover, this kind of god-level martial soul is not comparable to the two god-level martial souls of the six-winged angel and the sea god. These two kinds of god-level martial souls, apart from the 10th level soul power bestowed by God, an extremely high martial soul quality, are essentially still in the category of ordinary martial souls. For example, Jin Ringsu's martial soul is a six-winged angel. Whether it is Jin Ringsu before becoming a god or Jin Ringsu after becoming a god, her six-winged angel martial soul can be called a god-level martial soul. Although both are god-level martial spirits, the latter is far more powerful than the former. The god-level martial soul nurtured by the divine substance can be comparable to the latter's six-winged angel. Lin Rong carefully sensed the situation in his body and thought, "Don't get carried away. The nurturing of divinity is not something that can be accomplished overnight. I can feel that the trace of divinity born in my body is constantly absorbing the power of heaven and earth to strengthen itself, but this progress is still too slow. It seems that we still need some external help. It just so happens that I still have so many rare herbs that I plundered from the yin-yang eye of ice and fire. I will take out a little bit every day, transform it into vitality with the life dragon soul, and then provide it to the divinity to absorb, so as to speed up its growth. However, this matter needs to be done slowly and in no hurry. The matter at hand is the most important." After Lin Rong absorbed the soul bone of the thundering hell vine, his own soul power increased from the peak of level 42 to level 44. At the same time, this soul bone did not disappoint Lin Rong, and gave him a very powerful burst output soul skill, Thunder Prison, Heavenly Punishment. The attack mode of this soul skill can also change according to Lin Rong's will. It can be used as a soul skill for single attack or as a soul skill for group attack. Lin Rong's fourth soul skill, Dragon Roar Thunder Realm, and his soul bone skill, Thunder Prison, Heavenly Punishment, come from the same origin. Therefore, the two soul skills, Dragon Roar Thunder Realm and Thunder Prison, Heavenly Punishment, complement each other. The Dragon Roar Thunder Realm can absorb the power of the Thunder Prison and Heavenly Punishment to strengthen the barrier, making it more difficult to break. When Thunder Prison, Heavenly Punishment is released in the Dragon Roar Thunder Realm, it can activate the second stage of this soul skill, gathering a large amount of thunder power to condense into the true form of a thunder dragon. The thunder dragon itself has no intelligence and needs to be controlled. Lin Rong can choose to control it himself, or he can give the true form of the thunder dragon to the 9-bend vine dragon to control after finishing all the work in Thunder Canyon. Lin Rong set off for home. On the way back, I met many teachers and students from the Advanced Soul Master Academy who were rushing to Xiandao City in the carriage. Lin Rong looked at the scene outside the window and thought, I am 9 years old, so Tang San is 9.5 years old. In the original novel, Tang San was 14.5 years old when he participated in the Continental High-Level Spirit Master Elite Tournament. The tournament is held every 5 years, and it is indeed time for this year's tournament to begin. However, the average level of the contestants in this competition seems to be not very good, far inferior to the next one in 5 years. In the original novel, there is not much description of this Continental Advanced Soul Master Elite competition. Lin Rong only knew that the champion was the Spirit Hall, and that Liu Erlong's Blue Overlord Academy defeated the second team of the Xiaotian Royal Soul Master Academy in the preliminaries. Seeing the big from the small from this point, we can see how poor the overall strength of the contestants in this competition is. In the next competition, Blue Bully Academy will send out more than one Soul Master. It is probably unlikely this time. Even so, they actually defeated the second team of Xiaotian Royal Soul Master Academy. Lin Rong felt ashamed to be a member of the Xiandao nobles. Xiandao is a hereditary noble family that pays great attention to the soul power cultivation of its direct descendants, but since they are not hereditary aristocrats, it is difficult to explain. In all previous competitions, the teammates selected for the second team of Xiandao Royal Academy were, without exception, all descendants of non-hereditary nobles. The reason why they want to participate in the competition is just to gild themselves with the title of participating team members and add a strong touch of glory to their life. Resumes. As for the first team, we can only say that the previous education committees have tried their best to select the players based on the standard of merit. However, few descendants of hereditary nobles are willing to participate in the competition, and most of them choose to graduate directly after breaking through level 35. After all, the essence of the Continental Advanced Soul Master Elite competition is to provide a platform for the major forces on the continent to recruit outstanding soul masters. The hereditary nobility is the party that recruits, not the party that is recruited. In addition, with the Spirit Hall seed team around, they felt they had no hope of winning the championship and naturally were unwilling to participate in the competition because of the arrogance of the hereditary nobility. They are unwilling to become the green leaves that set off the red flowers of others in the original work. If it weren't for Yu Yuan, the direct disciple of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus clan, who set an example, and Du Yuan's support for Yu Yuan, it is not certain that Yu Feng, Osro, Shimo, and Yi Lingling will participate in the competition. 5 years later, Xiandao Royal Soul Master Academy Board of Education Meng Shenji, Bai Baoshan and Zilan sat together, looking at the list of students on the table. Their faces filled with worry. How come such a big academy can't even find a decent student? There are so many students, but not even one level 40 Soul Master. What should we do with this year's competition? What else can we do? We'll be eliminated in the first round of the finals. The 3 education committee members looked at each other and sighed at the same time. There is no hope for this term, but there is still some hope for the next term. With Yu Yuan, the direct descendant of the Blue Tyrannosaurus Rex sect, and the granddaughter of His Majesty, we have 2 soul sect members at the very least. I hope that in the next competition, those hereditary nobles will consider the honor of the empire and send more outstanding young people to sign up for the competition. After saying that, the 3 of them began to pick up the scattered student lists on the table. On one of the lists, the words Tang San were clearly written. End of this chapter. Chapter 72. Palestiner. Tang sect, inner courtyard. A somewhat desolate figure stood in the yard. Even though half a year had passed, every time Tang San thought of what happened at his 9th birthday party half a year ago, he felt depressed. The humiliation he experienced at the age of 6 in Xiaotian sect, and this humiliation at his 9th-year-old birthday banquet made Tang San realize the importance of his own strength. Therefore, over the past 6 months, Tang San has been practicing like crazy, and regardless of the risks, he has forced his 8 extraordinary meridians to open up. Although the process was tortuous and dangerous, he almost died due to severed meridians. But at the critical moment, the Blue-Silver Emperor bloodline in Tang San's body that had not yet awakened came to his aid and helped him through the crisis. Risks and benefits coexist. A dangerous attempt allowed Tang San to directly open up the Chang and Dai meridians among the 8 extraordinary meridians. With 2 of the 8 meridians opened, the speed of Zhuanshan Guang increased, which was equivalent to increasing Tang San's cultivation speed. In addition, Tang San also registered a name at the Xiandao Royal Soul Master Academy under the name of Tang Yu, his nephew, in order to use the academy's simulated training ground for free. When Tang San broke through level 20, he was 8.5 years old after absorbing the Sword Orchid Soul Ring, which was nearly 800 years old. His soul power broke through to level 22 now. A year has passed. During this year, Tang San's attitude towards cultivation changed drastically between the first half and the second half. In the first half of the year, I was distracted by the production of hidden weapons. Although I practiced seriously, I was not very hard-working, but the second half of the year was different. After being awakened by Lin Rong, Tang San realized the importance of his own strength, and he behaved extremely crazy in cultivation. In addition, Tang San opened up 2 of the 8 meridians, and the total amount of soul power increased in the second half of the year was more than double that of the first half of the year. In this year, Tang San has improved his soul power by 4 levels and is now a 26th level Great Soul Master. According to my current training speed, in 5 years, by the time of the next All-Continent Advanced Soul Master Elite competition, I should have a soul power level close to that of a Soul King. During this period, I can at least open up 1 of my 8 extraordinary meridians again, and my cultivation speed can be further improved. At that time, I will participate in the Continental High-Level Soul Master Elite competition with the cultivation of a Soul King, and win the final championship, and rebuild the reputation of my Tang sect. When the name of the Tang sect spreads across the continent, I will let those who want to die see the methods of my Tang sect, the elders of Xiaotian sect and the Lin family. Just wait. Deep inside the manor, in the wooden house, Lin Rong, who was sitting on the sofa, sneezed. Young master, the nights are cold in spring. Remember to cover yourself with a quilt when you go to bed at night. After hearing this, the old housekeeper walked up to Lin Rong and covered him with a plush blanket. No, Grandpa, you think too much. Lin Rong rubbed his nose and said, don't forget the effect of my martial spirit. How could a mere spring chill possibly cause me to catch a cold? There must be some malicious guy who is secretly thinking about me. I don't know what bad ideas he has in mind. Really? I just returned home yesterday and someone is talking about me today. Who could it be? Lin Rong pondered and guessed that it was most likely that guy Tang San. What a restless fellow. If he were not still useful, he would never see the sun tomorrow. Then, Lin Rong seemed to remember something, looked at the old housekeeper and said, by the way, Grandpa, I won't be attending the palace banquet tonight. Send a message to the royal family saying that I have entered deep meditation and will not be able to attend the dinner tonight. Every night before the start of the All-Continent High-Level Spirit Master Elite competition, the royal family would hold a grand palace dinner as usual. This royal palace dinner was grand in scale and had a very high threshold. Only hereditary nobles with the title of Earl and above, and non-hereditary nobles with the title of Marquess and above, are eligible to participate. Although this dinner was of high-end quality, it was essentially still an extravagant and hedonistic event without any practical significance. Lin Rong doesn't want to waste time on this. Moreover, when the royal family holds such a grand court dinner, the palace guards are basically concentrated in the palace gardens, and the guards in other places will usher in the most exhausted period of time. He took this opportunity to sneak into the palace and take away the national treasure. Old slave understands, the old butler answered, then left the cabin and went to handle the matter promptly. After nightfall, dusk fell. The center of Xiandao City, the palace gardens were brightly lit. A group of nobles dressed in their best clothes gathered in the garden and enjoyed themselves to their heart's content in the garden. Ning Fengzi looked around the entire garden but couldn't see the figure he wanted to see. Teacher Zhu King approached Ning Fengzi and greeted him softly. Are you looking for Duke Lin? Earlier, someone from the Lin mansion brought news that Duke Lin had entered deep meditation and would be unable to attend the banquet tonight. Deep meditation. Ning Fengzi was a little surprised when he heard it. This is an opportunity that is hard to come by, and Duke Lin actually encountered it. He is truly blessed by fate. Although what happened in the Tang sect half a year ago was not a big deal, it could not be hidden from the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect. Their partner is the leader of the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect. Ning Fengzi naturally knew about the tragic genocide of the Min clan and the separation of the Yu clan from the Tang sect. After sending people to investigate secretly, Ning Fengzi got some clues. The extermination of the Min clan was suspected to be done by Dugubo. The reason for the Yu clan's death is unknown, but it is likely that an irreconcilable conflict arose between the Yu clan and the Tang clan that day. Gurong sensed a hint of danger from the old butler Yu Yuan. Gurong told Ning Fengzi about this matter afterwards. Ning Fengzi combined the clues he had obtained with what Gurong had told him, and vaguely discovered some extraordinary truth. But these are all Ning Fengzi's imaginations, and there is no substantial evidence to prove them. It was not a good idea to visit without permission. and Lin Rong often went on long trips, so Ning Fengzi could not find a suitable opportunity to meet Lin Rong. I thought this palace dinner was a good opportunity, but I didn't expect Lin Rong didn't come. Another part of the garden. Tang San stood there. He would not miss any opportunity to promote the Tang sect, so he naturally would not miss this grand and unprecedented court dinner. In order to avoid meeting Lin Rong again at the dinner, Tang San deliberately chose a secluded corner. Unexpectedly, he did not meet Lin Rong, but was blocked by a girl of the same age. "You are Tang San. You look so ordinary. Are you really Madame Yu's nephew?" The 9-year-old little princess of the royal family, Zuke, looked at the person in front of her and felt very dissatisfied, thinking, "I thought Madame Yu's nephew would be very handsome, but I didn't expect him to look so ordinary. He doesn't fit the image of a Prince Charming in my mind at all, but my father intends for me to marry this person. No, I have to find a way to mess up this marriage." End of this chapter. Chapter 73, Stealing Treasures from the National Treasury. Zuke was thinking about these things in her mind. What should she do to ruin this marriage without affecting her reputation? Tang San, who was standing opposite Zuke, was very unhappy about the rude questions Zuke asked, but he had seen the portrait of Princess Zuke at Tang Yuhu's place. "I know that the girl in front of me is the most beloved little princess of the royal family." Therefore, Tang San could only suppress his dissatisfaction and pretend to be a gentleman and say something. However, before Tang San could say anything, he found that Zuke had been standing there in the days after she finished speaking, and he didn't know what she was thinking about. Tang San felt that he was being ignored, and the dissatisfaction in his heart instantly turned into anger. But Tang San was concerned about Zuke's identity, and the dragon beard needle hidden in his hand did not shoot out outside the palace. A dark shadow lurked in the pitch-black night and ran nimbly along the tall palace wall. Somewhere in the palace, where the national treasury is located, Lin Rong, dressed in night clothes, hid in the dark, using a mind mirror to observe the situation around him. Even though half of the guards were transferred away, I didn't expect there are still 2 teams of guards here. Fortunately, I was prepared. After obtaining the second soul ring, Lin Rong already had a rough plan in his mind on how to obtain the Xian Dao royal family's national treasure. The vast sea universe cover is the national treasure. The Hanhe Kyankin water cover has always been enshrined in the most central location of the national treasury and closely guarded, and each of the guards responsible for guarding the national treasury is at least a 3-ring soul master. There are 7 doors to the treasury, and each door requires 7 keys to open. Normally, without Zuyi's imperial decree, it would be impossible to sneak into the national treasury and steal the Hanhe Kyankin cover without alerting anyone, but this is not a problem at all for Lin Rong, who has the ability to replace space for this purpose. Lin Rong selected a very valuable birthday gift on the day of Emperor Zuyi's birthday, added a mark to it, and gave it away at the birthday banquet according to custom. Valuable birthday gifts would be registered and stored in the national treasury. In this way, Lin Rong can use space displacement to sneak into the treasury without alerting anyone. In the dark night, Lin Rong quietly released the dragon soul of the 9-curved vine dragon and commanded with telepathy, "Xiaotian, after I perform the spatial displacement, remember to add a new mark to the object that was replaced, and then hide in the void with it." The 9-curved vine dragon in the dragon soul state rubbed Lin Rong's face with its head to indicate that it understood. Seeing this, Lin Rong stroked Xiaotian's dragon head, and then a barely perceptible spatial fluctuation flashed by, and Lin Rong disappeared from the spot, replaced by an object wrapped in red cloth. After the birthday gift was replaced, the 9-curved vine dragon on standby immediately grabbed it in its claws and marked it with its second soul skill, the green leaf mark. Immediately afterwards, the 9-curved vine dragon gradually became illusory, and finally disappeared in this dark corner, hiding in the void inside the treasury. The space wave flashed by, and Lin Rong appeared on an altar looking around. Everywhere you look is a dazzling array of rare collections, various rare jades, agate, pearl, amber, amethyst, jadeite. There are also collections of weapons, armor, and more. As expected of the royal family, there are so many good things here. Unfortunately, most of them are mundane things. There is basically nothing that can help soul masters improve their strength. After looking around, Lin Rong passed by the countless luxury goods around him and walked straight to the deepest part of the treasury. It must be said that this treasury was built very large, and the internal structure was also very complicated. The treasury was filled with all kinds of rare treasures. At first glance, every collection room was exactly the same. Fortunately, under the mirror of the heart, the subtle differences of all things cannot be hidden from Lin Rong's mind. Even if you get lost in the treasury, One principle will not change: the closer to the center of the treasury, the more precious the treasure stored inside. As a hereditary Duke, Lin Rong naturally knows how to distinguish the value of treasures, which is a compulsory course. Relying on this method, Lin Rong wandered around in the treasury for a stick of incense and finally arrived at a collection room in the center of the treasury. Central collection room of the National Treasury. On the altar in the center, there was a brocade box covered with red cloth. Lin Rong just stood at the door of the collection room and looked at it from afar, and the divine power born in his body began to throb slightly. That's right. Only things from God can make the divinity throb. The thing under that red cloth must be the vast ocean universe cover. No, it should be the heart of the sea god. The core item of Poseidon's inheritance is not on Poseidon Island, but has become the national treasure of the royal family of Sky Dou Empire. It is hard not to wonder whether there is any relationship between the royal Zhou family and Poseidon. Could it be that the bloodline of Poseidon is the descendant of the bloodline left by the sea god and the queen, while the bloodline of the Zhou family is the descendant of the bloodline left by the sea god and the mistress? Given the love-brained nature of Douluo continent, Lin Rong couldn't help but imagine a bloody plot in his mind. So, the Poseidon family inherited the sea god island, and the Zhou family took away the sea god's heart and established the Sky Dou Empire with the help of the sea god. It's no wonder that Lin Rong made such a guess. The Zhou family's martial soul, the swan, is a high-level martial soul, but it has only just reached the threshold of a high-level martial soul. Moreover, this swan martial soul is the purest swan, which means that the swan martial soul has no attack power and is a well-known vase martial soul among high-level martial souls. Lin Rong put aside all distracting thoughts in his mind, strode forward to the center of the collection room, looked at the transparent light shield in front of him, and thought, soul guidance device defense shield. The royal family has so many goodies. However, the strength of this protective shield does not seem to be very good. It is only at the level of a third-ring defensive soul master using the third defensive soul skill. Looking at the protective shield in front of him, Lin Rong suddenly had an idea. He raised his wrist, and more than 10 golden particles flew out from the vine leaf jade beads. The sky blue soul power was injected into it, and the golden particles stretched out and turned into golden threads. Although Tang San has never used the dragon beard needle in front of everyone so far, there will be such a day sooner or later. I don't know. When the royal family finds out that the dragon whisker needles Tang San used are the golden particles that appeared in the National Treasury theft case, what will they think? Under Lin Rong's control, the golden threads turned into more than 10 golden lights that shuttled back and forth on the defense shield, and shattered it into pieces in just a moment after Lin Rong withdrew his soul power. These golden threads turned into golden particles and fell to the ground. Got it. Lin Rong lifted the red cloth, picked up the brocade box and put it away, then rushed back to the original collection room without any hesitation and stood on the altar where he appeared. There was another subtle spatial fluctuation, and Lin Rong disappeared here, and the birthday gift wrapped in red cloth reappeared on the altar outside the treasury. In a dark corner not far away, Lin Rong's figure flashed and he left the palace quickly. In the manor, the old butler seemed to be sitting calmly in a chair waiting until he saw the young master return safely. The stone in his heart finally fell to the ground quietly. On the other side, the palace garden, Tang San was sitting at the banquet and talking with Zhu King, when for some reason he suddenly felt a chill in his heart and had a vague bad premonition. End of this chapter. Chapter 74. The Emperor's Mindset. The palace dinner lasted until midnight, and the nobles who were enjoying themselves in the palace left the palace garden one after another, feeling unsatisfied. Day 2. The 5-yearly Continental Advanced Soul Master Elite Competition was held as scheduled. Xiandao Division, Xiandao City Great Fighting Spirit Arena. Except for the separately designated VIP seats, all other seats were filled with spectators in the venue. Participating teams from all the Advanced Soul Master Academies affiliated with the Xiaotian Empire gathered together to greet the enthusiastic shouts and cheers from the audience. Among them, the academy with the highest audience support is naturally the Xiaotian Royal Soul Master Academy, which has the home advantage. Followed by the 5 Elements Academy composed of Shenfeng, Chihou, Xianshu, Leiting, and Xiangju. Apart from these 6 major colleges, all other colleges combined account for less than 10% of the audience's voices. Not long after the opening ceremony of the preliminaries was successfully completed with a speech of the current Xiandao Emperor Zhu Yi. Next, as per convention, a team will be drawn by lot to play an exhibition match with the second team of Xiandao Royal Soul Master Academy. As expected, The team that the money-worshipping Bishop Salas of the Spirit Hall drew was the Blue Tyrant Academy founded by Liu Erlong. As soon as the game started, the battle entered a white-hot stage. The situation was deadlocked and seemed a little tense. In fact, judging from the strength alone, Xiaodao Team 2 is slightly stronger than Lanba Academy in overall strength, but unfortunately, all the members of Team 2 are a group of playboys who came here to gild themselves. It is no exaggeration to say that the 7 of them are flowers raised in a greenhouse. There is no combat experience, a stable mentality does not exist, and strong willpower is even more impossible. On the contrary, the 7 members of Lanba Academy are all from civilian backgrounds and are stronger than Xiaodao Team 2 in these aspects. Therefore, after failing to attack for a long time, the Xiaodao Team 2 had problems with their mentality and revealed significant flaws. The 7 players of Blue Bully Academy immediately seized the opportunity and began to fight back. The game began to become one-sided until the balance completely tilted to Blue Bully Academy's side. After the exhibition match, in the first row of the VIP seats, Emperor Ziyi sat quietly between Ning Fengzi and Saris, his majestic face now rather gloomy at this moment. Ziyi really wanted to turn around and question his younger brother Zuzing and the 3 academic committee members of the college, but in the end, considering that the Platinum Bishop Salas of the Spirit Hall was sitting next to him, Ziyi forcibly restrained the urge to turn around and question him. It was not until the opening ceremony and exhibition match officially came to an end that the royal family returned to the palace. Ziyi, sitting on the throne, no longer suppressed his dissatisfaction. He slapped the armrest of the dragon throne with his right hand and asked sternly, "Zuzing, how are you going to explain what happened today?" Xiaodao Team 2 represents the face of the royal family, but they actually lost to little-known Blue Tyrant Academy. Where do you want the royal family to put their face? Why? Aren't you talking? Are you mute? Below, Prince Zuxing was speechless. The quality of students at the Xiaodao Royal Soul Master Academy is not good, and this has not been a 1 or 2 day thing. It's just that this year happened to be the worst one in history, so it's normal to lose the game. However, although everyone knows about this kind of thing, knowing it is one thing and exposing it is another. Therefore, Prince Zuxing could only swallow this loss in silence and bear all the blame alone on the throne. After Ziyi vented his anger, he shifted his gaze from Zuzing to Zuking. "My son, your uncle is not strong enough to manage the academy. Please lend a hand and help your uncle. I don't want to see the scene today in the next competition." Zhu King, who was standing nearby, glanced at Zuzing, whose face was ashen, and saluted Ziyi before answering, "I will obey your orders and live up to your trust." At this time, Zhu King had already begun to think about how to win over the 3 academic committee members of the college to become his own people. The 3 teaching committee members of the academy, the 2nd seat Bai Baoshan and the 3rd seat Zilin, are both from the Bai and Zhi families, hereditary nobles of Xiaodao. They are both talented but are from side branches of the family and have no chance to inherit the hereditary title of the family. In addition, for some personal reasons, they became the teaching committee members of the Xiaodao Royal Soul Master Academy. Chief Meng Shenji was born into a small soul master family in the north of the empire and was also a native Xiaodao. Although it is impossible for these 3 teaching committee members to join the Spirit Hall, they can still contribute a lot to helping the Zhu King, whom Ziyi disguised as, ascend to the throne after her death. After listening to Zhu King's answer, Ziyi didn't say much. He just nodded slightly, stood up and left the hall. After the 2 waited for Ziyi to leave, Zhu Xing snorted coldly, flicked his sleeves, walked in front of Zhu King and left the hall. Prince's mansion. Zhu Beng, who was waiting here, saw Zhu Xing coming back, looked around, confirmed that there was no one around, and asked hurriedly, "Uncle, how is it? Did the emperor not punish you?" "No." Zhu Xing's answer made Zhu Beng feel relieved, but Zhu Beng soon heard Zhu Xing say, "However, my royal brother allowed your eldest brother to intervene in the affairs of the academy. Although his power is not as great as mine, he might as well give more." "Ah. What should we do then?" Zhu Beng's face suddenly fell after hearing this. "Why? Are you panicking? Have you forgotten everything I taught you over the years?" Seeing Zhu Beng like this, Zhu Xing angrily reprimanded him, and then explained, "Although your eldest brother has interfered in the affairs of the academy, this is not an easy task. As the most dissolute student in the academy, you must know what the academy's culture is like. No matter how capable your elder brother is, it is simply a fantasy to want to change the habits that the Xiaodao nobles have developed over countless years. With great power comes great responsibility. Your eldest brother interfered in the affairs of the academy. As a result, the academy has not been able to change and remains the same. Your eldest brother cannot escape the blame for his incompetence in any way. By then, you and I, uncle and nephew, will add fuel to the fire behind the scenes and will definitely lower your elder brother's status in the emperor's heart. After hearing this, Zhu Bang's anxious expression faded away, and he looked at Zhu Xing with admiration and flattered. That's great, uncle. I wasn't calm enough. I was distracted and didn't think of this the first time. Zhu Bang was very grateful to his uncle, who saved his life and taught him how to survive. If it weren't for his uncle, he would have died at the hands of his eldest brother because of his outrageous talent, even though he knew nothing. Okay, stop flattering me. Zhu Xing knocked on Zhu Bang's head and said, how is your relationship with Tang San? You know, Tang San is not only the descendant of the Xiaotian sect, but he also created those magical hidden weapons, which can have a great impact on the world situation. It will do you no harm to be on good terms with him. He may even be able to help you get to that position in the future. Well, Avalanche answered hesitantly, these days, Tang San has been acting like a complete hidden weapon fanatic and a training fanatic. Apart from promoting those hidden weapons, he almost never talks to anyone. Also, uncle, you know that I am playing the role of a dandy boy, so Tang San simply ignored my advances. This Zhu Xing didn't know what to say. After thinking for a while, she finally said helplessly, in that case, forget about making friends with Tang San, but there is one thing you need to remember, you must never let Tang San become your eldest brother's man. We can't get the help that you, big brother, can get. Do you understand? Yes. Avalanche nodded vigorously. End of this chapter. Chapter 75 Dugubo's mission. On the other side, Lin's manner Lin Rong's excuse to the outside world was that he had entered deep meditation and was putting on a full show. He was still in deep meditation, so of course it was impossible for him to appear at the opening ceremony of the Continental Advanced Soul Master Elite competition. However, even though Lin Rong did not attend the opening ceremony, he did not deliberately send anyone to inquire about the news. However, the news that the contestants from Blue Tyrant Academy defeated the second team of Xiandao Royal Soul Master Academy was still spread by word of mouth among the people of Xiandao City and reached the Duke's mansion. The Royal Academy lost her small academy that was only established a few years ago during such a grand opening ceremony. This is a huge loss of face for the royal family. Lin Rong sat in the first seat and said to Dugubo, who was sitting next to him, given the character of the royal family, they will never let what happened today happen again in the next competition. Dugubo, your granddaughter has taken the Longyine Xianxi pill. Her soul power and cultivation aptitude should have improved significantly. She should be able to help the royal family save face in the next competition. After hearing this, Dugubo, who didn't know his master very well, considered his words and replied, I have to thank you for the medicine, sir. Those 3 Dragon Rhyme Immortal Ganoderma pills were of great help to Yan'an. The improvement of soul power and cultivation aptitude are still secondary. The most important thing is that the quality of Yan'an's martial soul has improved a lot. After saying this, Dugubo seemed to be hesitant to speak, but finally he spoke. Sir, I wonder if you have any of these Dragon Rhyme Immortal Ganoderma pills left. Lin Rong took a sip of tea slowly, listening to Dugubo's somewhat embarrassed tone, and asked, why? Do you regret giving all 3 pills to your granddaughter? That's not the case. Dugubo hurriedly explained. After hearing this, my lord, you also said that the effect of this pill in improving soul power is only effective for soul masters below level 50, and the effect of improving aptitude is better for younger people. I am already old. This elixir can only improve the quality of my martial soul. It cannot fully bring out the value of the elixir. Naturally, I have to give it to Yan'an. But Dugubo changed the subject. If the quality of my martial soul can be improved, I will have the hope of making further progress in the realm of title Douluo. Which soul master can refuse such a temptation? Of course, I know this elixir is very precious, so I want to ask. After hearing this, Lin Rong had some guesses in his mind, so he asked tentatively, you want this pill so much? Is it because after Du Yuan took the Longyine Xianxi pill, his martial soul showed a tendency to transform into a dragon, which alleviated the symptoms of the backlash poison of your family martial soul to a certain extent? After hearing this, Dugubo was shocked and relieved, and finally answered, Sir, you really know the drawbacks of our Dugu family's martial spirit inheritance. So, that day in Tang sect, you took out that herb in order to shock me, right? After Dugubo finished speaking, He wanted to hear what Lin Rong's answer was as a result. Lin Rong just replied calmly, if you hadn't come to the Tang clan banquet that day, things wouldn't be like this now. These unexpected words left Du Gubo silent for a while. After a while, Du Gubo finally said with some relief, it is God's will. Fate plays tricks on us. If I hadn't brought Yan'an into the Tang sect that day, I wouldn't have received the elixir you gave me, giving Yan'an a chance to escape the backlash of her family's martial spirit. I have no regrets in submitting to you, sir. These words were Du Gubo's way of expressing his loyalty, and Lin Rong naturally heard it so. Under Du Gubo's expectant gaze, Lin Rong took out a jade bottle and threw it to Du Gubo, saying, there are still pills, but you have to know that improving the quality of the martial soul can only alleviate the symptoms of the backlash poison. If you want to get rid of it from the root, you need to evolve your martial soul to do that. The 9th grade dragon Ganoderma is the best Ganoderma lucidum, second only to the immortal grade medicinal herbs. If Du Gubo or Du Yuan were to take it directly, it might allow their martial soul, the green phosphorus snake, to evolve and completely get rid of the martial soul's backlash poison. However, Yang Wudi used the 9th grade dragon fungus with other herbs to refine it into 12 pills. Each person can take up to 3 pills, and because of drug resistance, the efficacy will decrease with each additional pill. Taking 3 pills can only obtain less than 15% of the medicinal properties of the 9th grade dragon Ganoderma. This little bit of medicinal properties can only improve the quality of the green phosphorus snake's martial soul. It is far from enough for it to evolve. Du Gubo hurriedly took the jade bottle, smiled, and answered with joy, thank you, sir. I know, but the more the backlash can be alleviated, the better. After saying that, Du Gubo couldn't wait to open the jade bottle, took out a pill and was about to swallow it. Wait? Lin Rong interrupted Du Gubo's actions. Then, in Du Gubo's puzzled eyes, Lin Rong continued, this pill is for you, but it's not for you. The 3 Dragon Rhyme Immortal Ganoderma pills I gave you are mission items. Go to the Barak Kingdom to find the peerless dragon and snake couple. No matter what method or means you use, you can do it. In short, I want them both to submit to me. After completing the mission, if there is any medicine left, it will be yours. If there is none left, it is your own fault. This is the first mission I've issued to you since you surrendered. You must complete it beautifully and don't let me down. Du Gubo put the pill back into the jade bottle with some embarrassment. A trace of disappointment flashed in his eyes, and replied, yes, I take your orders. After hearing this, Lin Rong waved his hand and drove them away. Go quickly and come back soon. I'll be waiting for your good news. After Du Gubo left, Lin Rong no longer had to pretend to be a superior in front of his subordinates and lay comfortably in the recliner. It's such a pleasant day to have a break from the busy life. In the past, he basically did everything important himself. Later, although Grandpa Yu broke through to the title Douluo, Grandpa Yu needed to protect him closely and could not do many things. Now with Du Gubo, a powerful and ruthless subordinate, Lin Rong can have some free time by assigning some important but not very important tasks to him. This is what a leader of a faction should be like. If I have to do everything myself, then what's the point of me establishing a faction? According to the description of Du Gubo in the original novel, he would be a capable subordinate, but having only one such capable subordinate is not enough. Bring Juho and Xiaoga here some other time. The bipolar forbidden field is a good thing, and we can't let it get away with the spirit hall. It just so happens that I still have 2 immortal herbs, Kirantong Xianzhu and Shuxin Yujigu. One is Yang and the other is Yin, which just correspond to their martial spirits. I don't know how loyal Xiaoga is to the spirit hall, but Juho is not very loyal to the spirit hall at all. She is more greedy for the wealth and glory that the spirit hall can give her. This is what Juho herself admitted in the original book. It's not a problem for Kirantong Xianzhu to take down Chrysanthemum, and with the help of the ambiguous relationship between Chrysanthemum and the little ghost, it won't be a problem to take down the little ghost either. When the time is right, we have to let Du Gubo seduce Juho out, and then everything will be done. But right now, Grandpa Yu has not yet broken through to level 97, and I have just broken through to Soul Sect. There's still a lot of time. No rush, no rush. Wait a few years until Grandpa Yu breaks through to level 97. When the time is right, it won't be too late to take action. End of this chapter. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, Every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.